this year, that also happened with the win-loss score for this franchise era, which is 15-16 and 7-7. So, regardless of who's playing, it feels like it's just the name, you know, Ranmar? The name just speaks for itself. Possibly the biggest unofficial rivals here in MPL Philippines history.
Yeah, I am actually stunned to see this, that I didn't know that all throughout the pre-franchise and now the franchise era of MPL Philippines is just so close. That's how epic actually the history of Fnatic Onyx Philippines and Falcons AP Brent, a rivalry that you mentioned, might have flown under the radar of many. But Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they dominated this regular season. Falcons AP Brent has only won one game against Fnatic Onyx Philippines this season. That if you think about it, that closeness was mostly achieved through the results of Fnatic Onyx Philippines against Falcons AP Brent this season alone.
That's right. And again, results always just speak for themselves, regardless of what happened like 2 years or 3 years ago, right? What matters is now. And right now, on pure stats, does feel like Fnatic Onyx Philippines just might run away with this. But then again, this is a problem. All of our expectations all throughout the playoffs feels like it's on topsy-turvy. Except, I think FNOP has been the most consistent in terms of that.
Fnatic Onyx Philippines so far has been the team that has met the expectations. If you support the Fnatic Onyx Philippines, there was that whole narrative that, oh, FNOP, they're always just going to be the quick exit out of the playoffs. But no, they simply dominated Aurora yesterday. While Falcons AP Brent, the defending M5 World Champions, the second placers of last season's Grand Finals, they struggled against a Blacklist International that surprised a lot of us. So if you're looking at it from a Falcons AP Brent fan's perspective, this is looking tough for the Bees, man. Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they're built diff this season, and we can't deny it anymore.
That's right. It's just so tough to put into your mind that the M5 World Champions are possibly next on the chopping block here against, you know...
Oh, that's where you put it.
Super fan.
For that. There we go. Oh, hey, we have one each.
We have one each.
There we go.
And I would say that it's odd. Because first, we already have our champions, our current MPL Philippines champions, who exited on day one. And now, what if they do that same thing right now? Obviously, they're not exiting right now, but
they'll exit the upper bracket go down.
But it feels like a different world now, right? And it feels like it's an FNOP world, and we're just living in it.
Yeah. Again, coming from this guy, if Fnatic Onyx Philippines simply dominates Falcons AP Brent here, I mean, I'm the one to always say that expect the unexpected. But it's safe to expect that they might actually end the season as champions. Like an 80% chance. If they simply dominate, sweep Falcons AP Brent here, it would be difficult to see a scenario wherein Fnatic Onyx Philippines loses the Grand Finals.
Actually, if you're talking about win rate, they're close to 90, right? So you can just add that up and make it a 90% chance that they're probably going to be the ones to take it.
Yeah, again, and you could even make that argument that the reason why they didn't go 14-0 in the season is because they sort of like moshed themselves in the foot.
That's right. They moshed themselves in the foot.
Right in the foot.
Anyway, and we saw Why Not also smiling when that happened. So I don't know. Who knows? Who knows, right? But before all of that, by the way, we do have the Alamat Awards, like Ramon mentioned, happening later today. Sorry, that's Leo who mentioned it. And that's happening, I think, after match number 1. So stay tuned for that, guys. But for everyone who's watching right now, we need to get that keyboard up. Who do you think is going to be the winner of this matchup? We can only say so much here from the panel area. We want your opinion on who's going to win. Is it FNOP right now, or will a Titan emerge here? It's Falcons AP Brent.
Rockhart, I think we've discussed our predictions beforehand, so I think it's time to do the thing.
Let's do the thing.
It hurts, but...
This is our prediction right now. Right here.
That's our predictions for this matchup. Would you care to say?
It's kind of tough because honestly, the only thing keeping me together for this one is the heart of the champion, man. They've been at it for so long. They've been in here for so many times. I know what else to say.
The pre-playoffs prediction that I released, this is the scenario we find ourselves in. I said that Falcons AP Brent would take down Fnatic Onyx Philippines down to the lower bracket, and Falcons AP Brent would make it to M6 first. But after what I saw from both of these two teams yesterday, I just instantly had that feeling of, I think it's Fnatic Onyx Philippines who's gonna book their M6 ticket first. So, as much as it hurts, they'll always be in my heart. They'll always be my bias.
Your analyst brain is just on overdrive right now, right?
Yeah.
From what you saw yesterday.
My analyst brain just says, Coach Jeb. Coach Jeb.
Sorry, who?
Coach Jeb.
Coach Jeb.
That may or may not
Yeah.
be me. Not actually affiliated with Fnatic Onyx.
You don't know. You don't know, guys. You don't know. You can only guess.
Dude, it's tough. Like, and I even see like the community reactions. Like, there's a lot of Falcons AP Bren fans on my page.
Yeah.
Even they themselves are like telling me, "Yo, we're nervous for Falcons AP Bren."
Yeah.
Even they are acknowledging.
They admit it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're admitting it. They're acknowledging the potential new tribal chief of the Philippines.
It's tough, man.
The new Datus.
Scores speak for themselves. Bases broken speak for themselves. It's hard to really put a counter on that one. But then again, guys, let us know how your rationale on why you voted. We're gonna read some of your YouTube comments, your Facebook comments later on, and maybe you guys watching on TikToks and everyone on the watch parties, our ultra, mega, our nano, our home watch parties. Let us know.
That's a lot of categories.
That's a lot of a lot of streamers.
Yeah.
So many streamers. 1 billion watch hours for MPL, bro.
Oh yeah,
That's
thank
a
you,
lot
by
of
the way.
people.
Thanks, y'all. We love you for that.
And we are about to head into the draft in just a bit. But of course, before that, we have to wait for them. Our players. Of course, I mean, a lot of people have been like commending Miles on his first performance. I was actually kind of hoping. We're gonna have to wait and see if we're gonna get surprised. But judging from the performance, obviously, I think that FNOP will still stick with their main five.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any Spider Miles fans out there who are watching out, but can't wait. But for Falcons AB Bren, are you even wondering? They're gonna go for it full blast on this one. And we are walking into the stage here for the first match of the day between FNOP and FCAP. Here is your community face-off.
It's time for the face-off. Representing Fnatic Onyx Philippines, the Sonics. Representing Falcons, AP Bren, the Bees. Ito ang palag ng madla. Para sa Falcons AP Bren, ano ang palag mo?
Di mo ba nakikita? Kami mga beast na overpower namin kayo.
Para sa Fnatic Onyx Philippines, ano ang palag mo?
Kung kayo nakapag-World Championship, kami naman yung susunod.
Palag.
Eh paano kayo susunod? Pangatlo na namin to eh.
Paalala ko lang sa'yo, yung regular season, hindi makaisa yung team mo sa team ko.
Sige. Isa pa.
Bago mo sabihin yan, mag-champion muna kayo.
Hindi na kailangan sabihin niya dahil kami na dito magcha-champion this season.
Palag kung palag. Fist bump. They have dominated everyone else and made a mark. Let's see who will reign supreme. It's time to ignite the battlefield.
Who will be our first M6 representatives? This is the match that will tell the tale. Introducing our marshals, Joshua G, Chico, Patrick, and Will Burt. It's the fourth on the road towards the grand finals or to fight another day at the lower bracket. This is a match between the top two seeds in the EXP lane. For Fnatic Onyx Philippines, it's Kurt. For Falcons AP Bren, Flap Teasy. In the jungle, the Sky King Kong versus Kyle TJ. Then in the mid lane, a mage god in the making, Super Prince versus the idol of the world, Few. For the Roamers, making a name for himself this season, it's Brusco versus the Master, Ogwen. In the gold lane, the gold standard, Kelra versus the bulletproof Super Marco. And their coaches, Coach Why Not and Coach Dake.
First match.
Only one of these two teams will book their M6 slot today.
There is! We got our two teams all clad in yellow, making their way onto the stage. Fnatic Onyx Philippines definitely looking like the team to beat, not just in the regular season, but also here in the playoffs.
No, Raghar, there was an interesting stat line that shocked me. There is one man here who has an undefeated record with 10 uses of a specific hero, Brusco. 10-0 with the Tigreal, man.
We're gonna have to keep our eyes on that one. We'll see if the Falcons AP brand's eyes are sharper, as their name suggests, and keeping their enemies in check, because definitely feels like it's gonna be on the draft where they will most likely take control first.
And then in the draft, for sure, that is where we're going to see it. Brusco, 10 unique heroes versus Master Ogwen's 13. A lot more versatile is Ogwen, but sometimes you just really got to focus on your strengths to make the most out of it. That's what King Kong and Fnatic Onyx Philippines has been doing.
Not just in colors, they also kind of mirror themselves here on the team head-to-head in terms of how they are powerful in turtle control, kill participation, even in First Blood, almost neck and neck. And the big difference here probably is the tower taking, of
Yes.
course. Lots of tower take capabilities here for FNOP, the way they close out these games.
Yeah, Fnatic Onyx Philippines has the highest tower damage in the league, but surprisingly enough, Falcons AP brand, they take down towers faster with tower damage per minute, the number one for them in that regard.
So it's like two stats.
Yeah, it's like two different stats.
It's two
yeah.
different stats, right? The amount of towers you take, the damage you put on the towers, and the speed in
Yeah.
which you take them. That's a big difference.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to be looking at it. And of course, at the center of the map, how you get towers is with great mid-rotation, Super Prince and Few. Super Prince has been getting a lot of eyes on him, and I wonder if Falcons AP brand will be willing to give his low yi to him. I have a suggestion. Don't do it.
Don't do it. He is becoming very much known as the Prince of Mages here. Super Prince is going to control that map, and Lo Yi is just one of the tools that he uses to go to the back line and make it hard for FCAP to actually keep control.
Going at the Roamers, we touched on them earlier. You know, Ogwen also has an undefeated record with the Tigreal. However, he does have, as we mentioned, the wider hero pool. But maybe jack of all trades Roamers struggle a little bit this season, while the Roamers, who have spent a significant amount of time spamming one hero throughout the season, have actually fared better. But this is the matchup I'm really looking for.
This
man.
is the matchup, bro. This is the matchup we have to see. How hard can Super Marco take down, how easy or how hard or difficult can Super Marco do it against Kelra, who is not the shiniest, not the flashiest, but the most consistent goal laner right now.
Yeah, and surprisingly, this is a season where two of Kelra's most played heroes are actually Harith and Ruby, non-traditional marksmen. But his record with the marksmen, carry 100%, Beatrix 100%, so is the Claude.
So you kind of just have to wonder what kind of guns are going to be used here by FNOP, and of course for the jungle matchup, both very proficient Fanny players who usually just outright take wins through that jungle. And now here are the Infinix keys to victory. As for FNOP, we mentioned about how fast they take towers, how fast they take control. Don't take your foot off the gas.
As Indonesians would say, Gus, Bang, Gus, just go for it. If you can get those high-tempo junglers, the ones who can clear fast, the ones who can burst quickly, who has those level 3, level 4 power spikes, just go ahead and take it. Fanny, Haya, Nolan, Julian, Suyo, fight for that. Continue exhibiting adjustments, Falcons AP brand. Adjustments has been the theme of their season. Continue showing that. While for both of them, eyes on your opponent before the prize. Don't think about M6. Don't think about the championship. Think about who's in front of you right now. Take it game per game.
One game at a time, the favorite line of all of these players every time they're in a clutch. And despite not being down for elimination today, I mean, just make it easy for your team, right? To get to M6, to prove your worth to just the whole world. And again, one game at a time here. Road to the championships. At this point, we're gonna have to wait for their priority here, and no surprises. Like we mentioned before the game started, 89% every time FDOP is on blue side, and 83% if they get their side selected.
Yep. So that's the numbers for if when they pick their which side that they're gonna be going through. But of course, as the team that only lost a couple of games and one series throughout the regular season, no surprise there. Let's see how Onyx will start the tempo in the draft.
Yes, this draft is going to be so crucial once we get into the junglers, I think. That's like the big question because so far in the playoffs, the team that kind of gets forced onto junglers like Julian, like junglers they're not really super comfortable with, are actually the teams that fall through or and kind of just have to struggle.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I like the respect coming out here. First, from Falcons AP brand. Yeah, don't give that Loyi.
Don't give the
Loyi should not see
Very
the light
smart.
of day. If ever Fnatic Onyx Philippines might actually be the one to give the Loyi to Few in a later draft. But for Fnatic Onyx Philippines, good batting as well. They take away the Harith from Super Marco as an option. It's one of the top 2 picks right now that we've been seeing in the season. If not in the 2, it places 3rd on the red side. And in his record there, 3 out of 5 is Super Marco with the Harith. You cannot give the Fanny as well. Falcons AP brand, they want to give the Suyo.
No fannies, but again, this is kind of already predicted here by FNOP. They're ready for it. Suyo is just so good, like you mentioned. And again, combine that with heroes like maybe the Hylos, just makes for a very potent mid trio.
I think for Falcons AP brand, they're going to be thinking about if they want to give the Gato Kacha or get it for themselves. They don't need to pick up the Kyle TZ pick right now. They can pick it as the 3rd. What they can do is pick up the Gato Kacha and they can flex that. It goes in either onto Flap or to Ogwin. They can actually just go for double Pain. Ogwin, Gatot, Kali. Just go for it if you want to just show that hand right away. But you have to watch out for a potential Ruby pickup that Kirk might go for.
That's right. Teams are actually still kind of formulating how they're going to deal with the Suyo right now. There's no clear-cut scenarios yet. So Gatot is actually a great start here, but what's going to go here?
Oh, okay.
It's a few pick.
Yeah, they
Not the
decide-
pick I'm expecting, to be honest.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of showing your roam and mid so quickly in this metagame right now.
Yeah.
But I believe this is them looking at the comforts of both Brusco and Super Frizz, and they've pinpointed that as being the problem. Kirk has a tremendous record with this Edith this season, actually. He has 12 games and an 86 rounded up percent win rate on that hero. So
Around about 2 game losses only.
yeah, that should be around 11 for 13. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so wow. At this point, it was so easy to pick up because Valentina is not on the table anymore, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to add that to your list of worries, and just makes it so easy for the roam to come in here. And there's Brusco with his show. But then again, not 100% yet, because these teams can just make a snap decision to swap out these 2 heroes if they want to.
For Falcons AP brand, I would suggest get their EXP laner now because there's so many jungle picks still available for Cal TZ that you can pick it up later. Again, go for the Khalid if it's there. It allows it to be the actual roamer to front to maybe see if it can beat Cho in terms of the annoyance in the jungle, the invasion, and getting the vision, while Ogwin's going to be playing more back and just going in with the Avatar of Guardian if they want to go for that playstyle.
I mean, yeah, make it hard for the Suyo, right? If you want to go for it, it makes it so easy to flank if that's the case. And alright, Nolan, not what we expected here for Falcons AP Brand.
Yeah, a quick security already on their cores, rather. their main rotation in the center of the map. So the approach of Falcons AP Brent for this draft is to just win the side lane matchups. Not gonna knock it, that can still work.
Yeah.
So for Falcons AP Brent, them locking in the Nolan for Kyle TZ, it makes sense. You know why? Because it's undefeated. However, in this scenario, I feel like it could have been slightly better if they decided to go for the Haya. However, I understand that Falcons AP Brand might have been too hesitant to go for that because it's the Cho that they're up against, and some junglers actually get messed up in their rotation alone going up against the Cho, while the Nolan can recover just a little bit better.
It's evidence, right? We've seen so many games where Brusco just handles Hayabusas very well.
Yeah.
Waits for like even the last few seconds of the fight. You're gonna be surprised he still has that way of the dragon.
Yeah.
He was basically just waiting for the Haya to show himself and then just kick him in the face. Same for Ghost for Ling users. So
Yeah.
Brusco on the Cho is actually super deadly.
Yeah. Let's see the bans here. I think more Super Friends heroes might go away. I wonder if they're gonna think about. They don't need to ban the Claude if you're Falcons AP Brand because you can just pick up the. Sorry, ban the Eve. You don't need to ban the Eve because you can pick up the Claude. But they still ban it.
Bro, have you noticed? Have you noticed something? Falcons AP Brand are going against every single expectation that we know of them from the past games.
Wow.
Every single pick.
That's very surprising to me because they already have the Nolan, they already have the Gatot Kacha. They could have gone Claude. They didn't need to come in and ban onto Eve. But I think that's also respect because Super Friends is the only undefeated Eve this season 14, 4-0.
We're talking records, right? I mean, Super Friends already has it in the bag. Even in scenarios where you say, bro, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't look like it's gonna work. It works. He makes it work.
That's pure respect or maybe even just little hints of fear. They go ahead and pick up the Moskov so they have a little bit more map control. Kelra has a wide array of heroes available for him. Can be mix and match. I assume there's gonna be two tanky frontliners for Falcons AP Brand. They might go Shredder on the carry. Fnatic Onyx Philippines has shown they don't care. Even though carry has somewhat struggled here and there for most teams, Kelra has one of the best records with the carry this season. Again, undefeated 3-0.
And happy to just make any pick work right now, right? If it's Kelra, you don't know. If it's Alice, he's gonna make it work. If he goes for Beatrix, he's probably still gonna win. And dominate, by the way, with that last Beatrix game. And there's a Beatrix! Like
4-0 for this Beatrix. That's a comfort. And he goes for the Valentina Super Friends. One of his best heroes. It is actually, just 3 for 5 this season. And I have to correct myself, his Eve is actually 3-0. There you go. Well, EXP goes for the Phobios.
Wow.
With everything that's happened in the draft, I can't believe Phobios actually went last.
I'm not gonna lie, me too. And I thought their lineups already locked in pretty tight here. It's FNOP who's sticking true to their DNA, the FNOP we all know, and Falcons AP Brand with a different kind of draft pattern.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Right?
Yeah, it's very different. The biggest switch was that rush priority on the Gatot Kacha instead of chasing the Phobius. It actually changed the dynamics of the drafting, leading to Falcons AP Brand actually getting a lineup that scales up a little bit better. Their early to mid-game potential is strong if they can get some quick kills.
You know what? Maybe you gotta do something different to make it work. Let's see. Leo and Naisu are in the game.
The Titan and the Slayer, the Standard Bearer and the Contender. World-class MLBB coming your way.
Welcome
and Leo
to
at your
Mobile
service.
Legends.
Welcome to Game 1.
Here we go. Man, oh man, I love the draft. I love that they talked about it, and especially, yes, that Gatakacha, it is it's gotta be one of the hottest picks right now, especially that we got into the playoffs. It's so valuable.
It's a breakout pick starting from week 7, 8, and then now you gotta pick it first phase. Maybe only second banana to Sue. Yo, I'll tell you now, I saw the Beatrix a mile away.
Yeah.
I woke up today and said, Kelra's playing Beatrix, but I didn't expect the Phobius to sneak in like that.
It snuck in, but I don't know, in a way it kind of had to. It is weird you're seeing it like last though in the draft.
Everybody from Fnatic Onyx triggers the Phobius. So with that said, oh no, some action in mid.
Okay, already feeling this out. And you know, because of this, it makes me, I know there's been a lot of debate about the Cho being picked up for some teams. I know some teams have also switched things around where they kind of, you know, it looks like it's gonna go roam, then it goes XP. But I still love it in the roam here. Even this little action once again gonna break out Brusco. quite low. Oakwin, though, will take the shot, get the kill, and now King Kong trying to get the revenge, but he's gonna bob and weave on out of there.
Here
Soul
we go.
Stepper has enough damage, and they'll pick it up. Oakwin goes down. The toss up there into the Earth Shatter as King Kong survived it all.
Massive bait by the beast incarnate King Kong. You see how we switched up into immortal mode? And they're like, look at my damage reduction, psych!
Just kidding. And that's the thing. You're seeing this Suyo pick up all the time now. I feel like these junglers are just getting better and better every time.
He's, I don't know if I can say, like, literally, but he feels better than Julian. When was the last time you saw Julian, man?
Did we see him?
We saw Julian yesterday.
I was saying, yeah, just yesterday, but he fell off hard.
Right!
Like, in terms of being picked up and everything else.
And with that being said, as soon as you hit level 3, you have all your skills, and you're this dominant even after losing Brusco, and now View's running away!
He's gonna be in trouble. He gets kicked back into the team. He can't get away. Brusco will pick up that one. Flap TZ on the backside, gonna try to join the fight, but he might not even be tacking up as well. Infernal Pursuit won't help him. Still surviving. Flicker in forward. Oh, the orange buff as Kyle gets taken out as well. FNOP looks just as good as they did yesterday.
They're living
that was
in
unboxing.
Falcons AP Brand's jungle. 2,000 gold ahead, not even 3 minutes in. Joseph, I don't think I've ever seen Falcons AP Brand sweat like this. I mean, besides a 16 and all, this is worse.
There's another kick. Few can't even play. King Kong finally to get taken down, and here they go. They want to clap back again. You can't escape. The hero's landing from that avatar, the Guardian from Oakwood.
Falcons AP Brand back on the map, shutting down King Kong. That's gonna go a long way towards the road to recovery. 3 minutes in, another turtle spawning in a minute, lower quarter. Good thing that Falcons AP Brand are protecting Marco. He's got to remain bulletproof if they want to see the 10-minute mark.
You know, when FCAP's been in this situation before, they've been under pressure. It's not often, but you can say the same about FNOP. So FCAP will know how to respond to this momentum being set up. And playing around the fact that they have this kind of lineup too. Once again, top side, waiting for them, Brusco. Not gonna actually pull the trigger though too. Super Frince joining this top side. FCAP will sniff it out and get back to base here.
Good news for Falcons AP Brand. Energy shields are still up, so there is damage reduction as long as you can camp underneath. And I don't know, do they know? Brusco spotted. Get out of there, Bruce!
Yeah, Brusco should be able to get away from this. Again, Flap T's just gonna give him a couple love taps. You know,
Kick them
get out of this jungle. We've seen you kick few too many times.
Kick them out like a gentleman.
Yeah, that's about them.
Sir, you can't stay here.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to leave?
Not this early on. Turtle up, and just as quickly taken down by Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Flap can only see it go, and that will put Fnatic Onyx back to about 2,000 gold.
Gives them that nice little comfortable lead. Part of this, though, again, is for Falcons AP Bren to just play that catch-up, you know? Build up on the deficit that they have to go against. You still see, even so, Brusco will still put pressure mid lane. Turtle Guard going to be dropped down by Super Prince just to get them off a little bit further from that turret, but no go there.
Dear Lord, Super Prince has lived in this little pocket since minute 1, and now Kirk finds Ogwen. This is deep.
Yeah, this is deep. Taking a couple shots. Spear of Misery there too, but you see what's happening is they're just playing to the tune right now of FNOP. And FCAP, like I said, they're fine with it. They'll look for something else. Right now here, Flap dealing with King Kong. Picks up the Thunder Belt as well, and I was surprised at how quick even Flap was taken down earlier in the game, but he's going to get much more tanky as the game goes on.
Best case scenario, you build your Thunder Belt about 3.5 minutes in. So he's maybe 30 to 40 seconds behind, but that's after dying twice. So this is, you know, silver lining. Greener pastures for Falcons AP Red to come, but not while Brusco's doing this. Finds one! Doesn't follow through. All right, not in position.
Not in position. It's good that he takes those kicks. It's almost like, yeah, you know, all the you miss all the kicks you don't take at this point, you know, for Brusco.
Oh, yeah.
He's been pretty on point, though, and they continue to try to hammer down this mid-lane tier 1, but they're not going to get it.
At this point, I think Fnatic Onyx knows, whoa.
Oh, you don't take that. Yeah, you don't take that.
Yeah, the SOD sees that Prince is at 1/5 of his health, but you see 3 other dudes, never mind. At this point, Fnatic Onyx at 3,000 gold ahead. A huge gap between the junglers. That's what, 1,500, Joseph? Between King Kong and Kyle. That's where a huge chunk of that 3,000 gold lead is at 6 minutes in. It's at this point that Brusco is just taking every kick he can to really get into Falcons AP Brent's heads. Now Ogwin going versus 2.
Ogwin, okay. Defensively, Avatar the Guardian's on out of there. But yeah, that's what you're talking about. And Kyle Teasy's got to deal with this pressure, and that's why he's fallen behind, right? He's the majority of that gold deficit right now, and that's why you see FCAP kind of really trying to support him. That's going to be 3 for 3 on the Turtles for FNOP. So objectively, they're exactly where they want to be. Oh, they get the flicker out for Few. I feel like Few's got a little bit of a... He's handled too many kicks at this point, man.
That's right. You're seeing some short-term trauma.
A little rattled.
And that's what Brusco has done. The Juggernaut constantly pushing forward, living in Falcons AP Bread's jungle, and Flappy looking for the punish.
Again, playing security guard at this point. Flap just trying to get Brusco out of here.
Help me kick out. Help me kick him out.
He's going to go for this. Get Kirk. Armor Wrath going to be dropped down.
The burst.
That might have been the wrong move. Kirk thought they were going to go in. Few will still survive as well. But all this, they do finally get the tier 1 turret for FNOP, so that's the play before that Lord comes up. Good push up top as well.
At the cost of what, Joseph? They did sacrifice Kirk, but Kelra's been pushing. Top lane, look at how deep that is. Mid lane, it's going to be so hard for Few to recover. I mean, economically speaking, financially speaking, they're down 4.
They're down 4. Not only that, Ogwin, having a hell of a game in the Gatakacha. This is kind of what we expect, though, too. And I think even given this situation, Ogwin still being tanky enough to hold that front and jump into the backside is going to help them for the objectives.
That's true. You got solid peel. Currently, this Gatot Kacha is rocking a Radiant armor, wearing a pair of pants as well, on his way to what one can only guess is a blade armor.
Yeah.
To punish Kelra, to punish King Kong, but hear me out. If you're down this bad, and it's your roam that has the most farm, like relatively speaking,
yeah,
that's still not a good idea. That's still not a good place to be.
It's not a good place to be, and like, I'm just, Kyle Teasy is struggling, man. He's like 2.5K behind King Kong right now. He did pick up a Malefic Roar.
King Kong is hyper farming.
He is.
King Kong bought Bitcoin in 2010.
Yeah.
That's how rich he is right now.
He's making bank at this point. He's got the times 100 basically on his profit.
He's hanging with Elon Musk.
he's there. Right now, the Lord is up. And I think FCAP, despite the lead and the gains that he's got, they want to contest this and fight it.
It's because utility. Falcons AP Red have amazing utility. It's not like FNOP are catching them sleeping. They still cover their corners. And maybe they're hedging on the fact that one solid Avatar the Guardian, one solid Eternal Guard could change the face of this Lord take.
Oh, that's actually the smart decision right there. I was wondering if they were going to jump in or not, because you saw even there, Kirk just popped that Primal Wrath, and he's like, yeah, we're just going to take this. Just go for it.
It was enough of a deterrent.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they heard the Edith shed off her armor for a second, so like, never mind.
Is there a song that plays when she does that? Or no, that's the skin. That's right.
Yeah, it's that like Studio Ghibli skin. All right, 5,000 gold ahead now, and even more turrets taken by the gold standard. Down bottom, just a holy shield about to get popped, and slowly but surely, their base is shrinking. There's space on the map. Ooh, what a runner shot!
That was like right on the mark, too. I mean, he was right there. Now they can fight under. They get the flicker out. Avatar and the Guardian going to be jumping in, but they take a Soul Sever to the face. There's a kick as well. Kyle Teasy's still going to be alive, though. Super Marco will keep him at bay, but they still have a Lord to deal with up top.
Successful defense by Falcons AP Brent, but they're not out of the woods just yet. Kyle Teasy doing his damnedest to clear this Lord, bursting it like his life depended on it. And look at that, just these nukes, Joseph, these nukes are putting Falcons AP Brent at half health.
The poking so much. Brusco just planting up right in front of FCAP. Oh, that Spirit Destruction not going to land on anybody. Terrify there too. Keep the flap.
Punish. All right, pops the magic flare. And it's as if the Renner wasn't enough. You see that charge queller?
Yeah.
It took a third out of Kyle. Whoa.
He's still charging it up. And this is like, walking in the immortal form too, and just popping off the queller. Like, this is the amount of poke that FNOP has right now.
And wait, not easy.
He's fine.
He wants to save as much of that turn as he can.
Keep it up there.
Okay, so it stands. All right. Now, talking about this lineup by Fnatic Onyx.
Yeah.
11 minutes in, we have hindsight, 2020, 8,000 gold ahead. Whoa, Ogwin, what are you thinking?
That was not in my hindsight. Ogwin jumps in, gets the kick. They want to force the fight. Still going to be looking for Brusco. Brusco will be able to get away. King Kong working on the mid turret amidst it all. The spear from Super Marco won't land. And Kelra fires off, finding Flapteezy. So they jump in FCAP with a desperate call. Won't be able to turn it around.
For almost 12 minutes now, Brusco's been doing this. The Juggernaut, he's unstoppable. He'll run up to you, cross all the way to your backline, and get out of there, still standing. Was that worth it? To be fair, Ogwin looked for a window. They made a window.
Yeah.
It's just Fnatic Onyx dispersed.
They dispersed, they committed a lot, and like, look at him. He's got a whole bunch of different items and just a completed empty Karas. Like, that's all he's got.
At this point in the game, especially since they buried Falcon's AP Brennan value, that's enough.
That's enough.
The real sources of damage from FCAP are Kyle, Marco, and Flap. Few's been struggling. He barely has 2 items.
Yep.
And now that Kyle has an endless battle, what's happening to Kirk? Whoa.
They're going to go for Kirk here. Pressing the situation, they're going to go off the Lord, and now he's going to clap back. Ogwin goes down first. On the chase, Flap won't be able to withstand the damage from Kelra. There's the jump in from Super Prince, and they collapse down on FCAP as they try to walk back to the base, but Brusco and King Kong won't let it happen. As it's only Kyle Teasy, he gets thrown into the air, and it's a double, and it's a Game 1 victory for Fnatic Onyx.
The Sonics take no prisoners. Run as far as you can, but you can't hide. First blood drawn by the contenders. They got their eyes on that trophy like they swear it's going home with them.
Yeah, they are. They're looking really good here, man.
Let's throw it over to the Infinix Tambayan and make sense of what happened here, Game 1.
I don't know, man. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we're almost getting
Hopefully
there.
y'all can hear us right now.
Y'all can hear us.
Hopefully you can hear us.
Hopefully you can hear us.
Yeah.
The best thing I can think about here right now is Sense and Sensibility are out of the table here. They left the room way ago. I can't make sense of it. I can't understand how FNOP got like a 7K, 8K gold advantage at around 10 minutes, 11 minutes against FCAP. This is too much. That's too much.
It really was way too much. The Kirk is going to be the MVP of the game because how they controlled this upper portion of the map in that river, it all came from some great lane management and rotations coming in from Kirk. That's how they got it. Remember, Flapteezy, he was the one himself who mentioned yesterday that in this meta, committing an error is massive. If you commit an error, you'll probably lose, and they committed 2 big ones. These early skirmishes. Ogwin trying to chase down King Kong alongside Flapteezy, not the right call at that moment. Didn't respect the turnaround capability, knowing that the Edith was still coming from the top. And then, followed by another great invade decision. As you see, Falcon's AP Brent Flapteezy had to manage the lane, decide to push it out more so that he could hit level 4, but then he would be late. That's already 4 members of Fnatic Onyx Philippines invading the red side. And because of those early invasions, that's why Fnatic Onyx Philippines was able to build a massive lead over Falcon's AP Brent. Dude, 7 minutes or 5 minutes in, it was already a 2-level lead for King Kong.
That's way too much, especially considering Suyo right now feels like his stats are just super bloated because obviously new heroes just tend to have higher stat ratings. If you're 2 levels above, that just means like he's like 3 or 4 levels. If you're using like a conventional jungler, a different jungler here, that will hit you non-stop, basically, with 3 consecutive strikes.
Yeah. Nicey was the one who pointed out a great example of, or the great strength of the lineup of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. They're poking. At 7 minutes in, they all went for a pincer maneuver to take down the tower in mid. One was invading purple. You got King Kong coming in from the red side, ready to poke with the evil Queller hold. and then Kelra in the mid with his sniper getting ready with the Beatrix. They just layered their pokes, and because they were able to build the lead, those pokes were hurting early on. That when you have a 3K, 4K gold lead early on in total gold count, those early game pokes for your opponents, taking down, chipping away 15%, 20% of their health instantly, already means they cannot fight. If they decide to
That's
fight,
right.
they will probably lose, or it will be costly.
Which they did try a few times, especially in that last one. Ogwen jumped in when even Leo and
Yeah.
Naizu didn't really expect him to. Look at that King Kong GPM nearing 1,000 gold per minute. My goodness. That's way too much.
Yeah, way too much for sure. We mentioned that for Falcons AP Bren, early to mid game potential, that damage is so much higher compared to Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Yes, again, but then we put that disclaimer. If they win some early fights. That's why you saw them trying to get those early wins, trying to get those early kills, and trying to chase down King Kong in that very first big skirmish that we had. It was just unfortunate that it was countered by great discipline and man marking by Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Man marking is what they're so good at in team fights.
That's right. Check an eye on your lane counterparts, I guess. And look at that. Few, despite being apparently the most source of damage there, it felt like he was barely making any damage at all in that Vexana. And for Kelra, you mentioned it, man. Pokes are just unreal. That's one of the reasons why I think Kelra doesn't really mind this quote-unquote bulletproof thing. You don't need to be bulletproof if your enemy can't touch you in the first place. I mean, he was nigh untouchable here, bro. Even the Gacha tried to dive in on him multiple times, and that actually missed.
Yeah, it's such a tough game for Falcons AP, Bren. Fnatic Onyx Philippines really are that team that if they get their start that they want, like the first 3 minutes of the game, if they get the rotation they want, and then they can get their punishments too, they do not let go.
Yeah,
It's
impossible.
rare to see them slip.
And if they do slip, maybe we'll see that in game number 2. For now, they look impervious. Let's throw it over. Our solo analyst maybe has another insight.
Stepping their foot off the gas, Fnatic Onyx Philippines takes game number 1. Magandang buhay, my name is Anjanara, here in the Solo Analyst, and I am here today to explain and break down what happened in game number 1 between the Clash of the Titans. As we can see, Kirk was the right use MVP of the match. But also, I just want to point it out that the thing that Fnatic Onyx Philippines did in game number 1 that made the entire difference here is that they capitalized on the fact that Few did not choose Purify as his battle spell. This meant that they will be able to really abuse the fact that they can crowd control him as much as they want to. Every single time that Feud doesn't have the opportunity to flicker out, Brusco is always there to cast the Way of the Dragon, hence disabling him from being able to farm and give space to his gold laners. It is also good to note that the rotation coming from the entire lineup of Fnatic Onyx Philippines was really towards the gold lane and giving him space. There was a point in time wherein King Kong and Kirk switched role to the point that King Kong was just able to freely farm while also giving space enough for Kelra to amass enough gold, hence being able to build up these items in just a short amount of time. The entirety of the lineup of Fnatic Onyx Philippines was just so dominating to the point that they were able to dominate the game, take all of the neutral objectives as much as they could, take all of the kills as much as they could, and then they were able to take that victory against Falcons AP Bren. Ang ganda nang ipinakita sa atin ng Fnatic Onyx Philippines, but I am pretty sure that we have something more beautiful to see with our very wonderful host, Mara Pino.
All right, everybody, let me hear it from you. Go, Fnatic! Go, go, Fnatic! Go, Onyx! Ngayon naman kasama ko ang parents ni Kelra, Daddy Rex, Mommy Chi. Kinakabahan po ba kayo? Ano bang pakiramdam ngayon?
Ay, konti lang.
Konti lang. Kayo po, Mommy?
Konti rin po.
Konti. Daddy, kamukha mo si Kelra. Manang-mana. Alam niyo po, mga 3 taon na po namin kilala si Kelra simula nung season 7. Kayo po naman kwento niyo sa amin, ano po ba yung mga napansin niyo na development ni Kelra bilang player, bilang anak?
Ano na, nag-mature na siya.
Mature
Di
na
ba,
siya.
kita mo naman dati kung trasto. Ngayon, kita mo naman pag sumasagot na, mature na.
Mas mature na. Nakilala po namin siya nung una sa Exe, Omega, and then ngayon sa Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Kayo po, Mami, ano po yung mga napansin yung pagbabago ni Kelra?
Nag-improve na siya. Hindi na siya tulad ng dati.
Ano po ba yung dati? Ano po ba yung ngayon?
Siyempre, yung mga trash talk niya sa mga sa mga kalaban niya. Yun. Ngayon na siya, nag-improve na, hindi na siya tulad ng dati.
Paano po ba siya nagbago?
Naging mabuti na siya pati sa mga pagsagot-sagot, sa mga hindi na siya tulad ng dati.
Wala na, marunong na siya sumagot sa social media.
Hindi na,
At kapansin-pansin po talaga ang kanyang development. Pero alam niyo po talagang napaka-big deal ng araw na to para kay Kelra dahil isa na lang makakapunta na siya sa ating M6 World Championship. So meron po ba kayong advice at gustong message na sabihin kay Kelra, Daddy?
Siguro, tuloy-tuloy lang. Matagal niya ng pangarap na talaga yan. Yung MPL champion, lalo na itong M6. Diba? Kasi may MSC na siya.
Ito na po ang hinihintay natin para kay Kelra. Napipicture ko na, Daddy, kung anong itsura ni Kelra pag tumanda siya, magkaboses kayo, tsaka magkamukha sila. Okay, eto po, babalik na po tayo sa ating panel dahil magsisimula ng ating Game 2. Tulungan niyo po akong ipasa sa kanila, sasabihin po natin, pasok. Alright? Alright, everybody? Panel, pasok!
Alright, yes. We see it, Mara. We see it right there. If you draw over Kelra's face right now with like a mustache and age them a little bit, age them a little, that's Kelra right there. Beautiful support, and they cannot be any more correct. I feel like Kelra has grown not just personally but professionally as well. Just answers so well in interviews and plays to a T time and time again.
And how's Mr. Rex? Keller's dad pointed out something that I completely forgot.
What?
Keller does have an MSC title. If he locks in his M6 slot, and if he ends the season as a champion, then he can actually finally live up to his standard, to the gold standard name.
And be the gold standard of the whole world around.
Yeah, because
Bro.
Keller has always said that right now I don't see myself as the gold standard. Because he still looks up to Benny. He still looks up to Super Marco. Those who have racked in championships, have become world champions consistently at the top of their game. Keller doesn't see himself as the gold standard. But by the end of M6, he might actually be able to prove it if he does go all the way. Wow.
And would it be poetic that Kelra picks up his first MPL Philippines championship and the World Championship in the same year?
Yeah.
That would be something, right? That would be a story.
That would definitely be a story, but let's see if he can finish it. But you know what? I think we gotta follow that third Infinix keys to victory. And let's just look at this one first right now.
One game at a time,
One game at a
guys.
time.
Yeah, favorite quotes from your favorite pro players.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's not so hard to see them actually taking game 2 as well, especially the way that they did this.
Oh, yeah.
Kirk's Edith, I think right now is 89%, 87%.
Should be around 87, yeah.
87% win rate. Jeez Louise, come on, what can this guy not do?
Yeah, that's 15 games, somewhat. Like, that's
Pretty
a lot
amazing.
of games on that one hero.
And if you think about it, you know what? He has so many other heroes that are becoming his trademarks. The R-Lot is becoming synonymous with the name Kirk as well right now. The long flowing hair is becoming a trademark as well, but apparently for the whole team. And now, you can really just not go wrong with the XP lane here. So Clapteasy is becoming an afterthought to Kirk in this scenario.
Yeah, a little bit behind there. That's why, even though the Phobius got in there at the end, and it does make sense in terms of the lineup with all of the dashes that Fnatic Onyx Philippines had, conceptually, it's a good game for Phobius.
Yeah.
In practice, how much better are you than clearing lane compared to the Edith? You being able to rotate a little bit faster. How long will you be able to survive the damage, the single target lockdown basic attack damage of the Beatrix? And it turns out the answer for Clapteasy was that not that very long.
That's right. Again, I believe that this lineup for FCAP is a little bit super committal. You dive in with AOG, you're
Yeah.
there for the ride. You dive in with the Phobias, you know what? Guess what? You're right next to your opponents again.
Yeah, exactly. Like if they don't get the set or the start that they want, they will crumble. While for the lineup of Fnatic Onyx Philippines, they had a little bit more leeway, especially with Super Prince. For example, let's say Brusco doesn't get the kick that he wants, doesn't get the right angle. The moment Fnatic Onyx Philippines answers to that, then you have Super Prince either as a Gata or a Vexana setting up with the follow-up crowd control to make up for what Brusco could have missed conceptually.
That's right. But guys, have you missed out on your Grand Finals ticket? But we got you. Our official tournament phone, by the way, will be hosting a watch party at the pop-up in Katipunan, Quezon City on October 20 on Grand Finals Day. So if you didn't get a chance to get your tickets, go over to the pop-up, just Google where that is or check your favorite navigation app, and you can watch it for free alongside all the other fans from all of these fan bases, and you can interact with them, and they're also giving away some stuff. And again, admission is free. Not only do you get possibly free stuff, you get to hang out with fellow MPL fans, you also get in for free. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, I think people saw that I made a face because I'm excited for you to read out the next spiel, man. Because I'm looking at that and like that's wild. I didn't know we had that.
This is insane. I didn't know we could give you guys an all-expense paid trip to Malaysia for M6 to watch the finals live or the whole championship live. Gather a 5-man squad and watch out for the Road to M6 nationwide tournament. It's a tournament. You're gonna apparently have to fight for it. Follow MPL Philippines official social media accounts for more information. Go over the MPL Philippines right now. I mean, while the draft is happening, listen to us, and then get the mechanics there, because that I was shocked with that one.
All expenses
All
paid.
expense, hotel ticket, plane ride.
I think we should register with the English talent.
We should.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You, me, Leo,
Naisu.
Naisu, and then we'll get Brigida
bald
and
guy.
Ingan to rock, paper, scissors.
The ball guy. He should be there.
All right, okay. You know what? That will not get him automatically into our 5-man, but until he shaves off his hair.
He's
Even
officially
promised
6-man.
that to us, bro.
Officially 6-man so far. Right
Yeah,
now.
but they only said 5 in that ad. So, you know, Ingan, come on,
Rock,
man.
paper, scissors with Brigida. All right. So we're about to get into this. And of course, blue side is going to be the priority pick here for FCAP, who wins 65% every of the time if they get blue. And their side selection is right now closer to half with 55%.
Yeah. Let's see. Because we've been seeing some weird trends with the drafting lately this season. This season's playoffs. You can really tell that Suyo has shifted a lot of the priorities. That was my biggest thing heading into the playoffs. Wherein there were teams who struggled to already adapt to the meta as far as week 7, week 8. Even Team Liquid Philippines admitted themselves that this meta has sort of thrown them off in terms of the drafting priority, the pick and ban priority. Now you introduce Suyo, who turns out to be an automatic first pick on the blue side. Sometimes some teams are willing to let him go so that they can go into the red side as one of the priority picks there. It really changes the whole dynamics. I mean, the only sure thing is that Chip is banned. Other than that, everything just changes now because we have other heroes coming up in priority. Jushin's coming back as a first pick. It's crazy.
And if you ban Suyo on red, that means you auto-ban Suyo, you auto-ban Chip. You only have one more ban.
Yeah, that's the painful thing about going red side.
Oh my goodness. So we'll see if that will affect FNOP in any way, shape, or form getting into the draft for game number 2 here. I'm still convinced that Suyo is not as high of a priority, especially if you don't get proper teammates with it. You don't get the proper combos with it. But so far, it has proven to just refuse to die in a lot of scenarios. And every single jungler right now in MPL Philippines playoffs is trying to get in.
So, looking at the bans, respecting the Gatot, the Jushin, and the Fanny, all iconic heroes for the row mid trio of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. Well, if not, let's see if it's going to be a committal on the Suyo ban. They already took away the Ogwyn of Matilda. The Matilda of Ogwyn. one of the best heroes of Falcons AP Brain could have picked on the blue side first pick, even if the Suyo was going to be left open for them. I'd rather they pick up the Matilda because they've proven to rotate really well with it, and rotations were their biggest problem in the first game that we saw. Plus, Oakwen has, he's 1 for 2 there, but I mean, it's FCAP, it's Matilda, it makes sense. Let's see if it's a Suyo ban. They ban the Harif instead. They are willing to give the Suyo and just beat Falcons AP Bren with the rotations.
There it is. That's the Suyo on the first pick here for FCAP. Calteezy happy to pick that up. But look at that. FNOP feels like they're ready. They feel like Kirk's Edith can actually take him.
Yeah. So, of course, you're going to pick up the best performing hero for Kirk this season. Really good with punishing bad initiations from your opponents. And that's the Kirk playstyle. If he's not the one initiating, he will punish you. Mid-team fight even is when he'll use it. They go for the Nolan Rush already. Interesting. They already showed their jungle.
Alright.
So, prioritizing the lane clear. They're willing to trade the power picks. Because they didn't need to pick their jungler just yet. They just went ahead and just went, you know what, just lock in the Nolan, we'll adjust to their picks later on.
I mean, the Nolan, despite the performance in game number 1, still does really pack a punch. Don't forget, guys, Nolan was recently buffed up. Slows on the fracture do kind of affect heroes who like to walk.
Yeah.
I love it because the skill name is fracture, and then you literally fracture
Yeah.
and slow down an opponent. So it kind of makes sense now. And but he's talking about a different kind of like fracture. He does like a reality fracture. Sorry, I went on the tangent there, but it's it just makes sense now that they think about it. And we are seeing, obviously, if you want to walk, if you like to walk like Suyo, you want the high loss on your side, 100%.
Good amounts of control from their roam mid combo. They should really need to take care of Suyo because their early game damage is going to be coming from him. They have high control, yes. Annoying, yes. But if they don't have the follow-up damage, they're just going to get countered here. So FNOP, they can go for a burst pinch right now. And they will. They lock in the low Yi.
Woohoo!
Uh-oh.
This is like the invisible sword here of FNOP. Once they get that low Yi, the whole map is just wide open. And Super Prince is like that guy who every time it's off cooldown, he just itches to use it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's so confident with the way that his teammates are supporting him, and he knows if he pulls a trigger, something good's gonna happen for FNOP. So that's actually really good for them.
This might be one of these games where we might actually see a new Falcons AP Brent pick and then you get SlapTZ to go on a Cho. Or get Owen on the Cho. Because you're really gonna need someone to access the back line. High Loss is honest. He brings down his ultimate and he runs up to you. You need someone who can flicker into the back, reach the back, but no Falcons AP Brent
justice in the world.
Interesting. Interesting to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, the fourth pick of it could have gone to Fnatic Onyx Philippines. I understand. I get it.
Trying to just protect the Suyo at this point, right? Because as powerful as Suyo can be.
But Brusco is going to get his Tigreal unless Falcons AP Brand actually commit the 5th ban on the Tig as well.
That actually makes sense. I feel like you shouldn't just ban out Keller right now, who it feels impossible to ban him out completely.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good point, honestly.
So why not just ban the Tigreal, right? So
ban out the heroes that set up for their course. Oh!
They banned the Tigreal. What?
Oh my god, why not?
Time and tide wait.
Dude!
You're expecting SlapTZ on the high loss, really?
So now they just ended up respect banning the Beatrix, but it looks like they were already thinking about it.
They were gonna do it. You knew they were gonna do it,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, that's a Chad move by Fnatic Onyx Philippines. They banned out the hero. They could have slotted in very well for them.
It's like a Giga Chad maneuver.
Yeah.
Big props to Why Not for
Yeah,
that
it forces
one.
an adjustment from your opponents, but now they're still thinking about the Brusco pickup. Yes, the Minotaur, Kufra, and a lot more roamers available for him anyway.
That's like a huge pull, maybe 16?
Yeah, man has a huge pool of heroes.
15, 16?
Minotaur might struggle a little bit. I wonder if they'll just end up picking Kufra as like the last pick.
Are you thinking that might be a great answer to the Suyo?
Okay.
Alright.
So, trying to go for the more off-kilter choices.
not really what I expected, honestly. I'm not sure how good the Grok is going to do against heroes like that we have right now. Aurora, almost untouchable here.
Yeah, the problem is for Falcon Safety Brand, it's funny. It's the most used hero of Few, but actually that's right. There hasn't been no wins for the Aurora of Few.
So he actually just might catch Few off guard here. And straight up, if they want to run, block the way. Wow, the logic here for FNOP is pretty simplistic. I like it. It's no frills. And it's very honest.
Are they gonna default into Rizla or go for Kali?
In despair,
Okay, Satan and
bound by these chains.
Still the Phobius.
still the Phobius. All right. Honestly, I feel better about it now that there's Suyo on the field. It's easier to lose track of a Suyo if a Phobius is jumping all around, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's the key. Although you could say the same for game 1. It's easy to lose track of the Nolan if there's a Suyo, if a Phobius is jumping, and they still lost.
Yeah, a lot of options here. Carry, Claude, Moskov, all still open.
Moskov is the easiest, I think.
Yeah, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines goes for whoa.
All right.
Yeah, again, because they don't have the backline access we were looking for.
They're not worried.
Yeah, it's not easy to reach the backline of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. That it's so easy for a Clint to just be able to juggle all his skills, maximize the enhanced basic attack after using a skill.
Why not just go for damage? You already have global presence with the Suyo and Loyi anyway.
Okay, if Falcon Safety Brand really needs to win the first 5 minutes of the game, or at least keep it close, and then if they can get an early kill onto Kelra, maybe one before minute 4, and then the other coming in before minute 7. If they can get that while
Very
keeping the
specific,
game
by the
close,
way.
yeah. If they can get that while keeping it close, then they could win it. But again, it's so specific. Can they actually do it?
Leo and Naisu. Is it though?
Hello? There we are.
Welcome
No, that's
to
just
Mobile
okay.
Legends.
All right, let me just wind back that joke. I reckon the last time we saw Clint in this same spot for Fnatic Onyx, it was a win.
That's about as good as it gets right there. Great, I don't know, man. Great lineups, I would say, for game number 2 for both of them. And this is exactly what Falcons AP brand needed to bring to the table. It covers their bases from that early to even the late game. But wow, Few taking a whole lot of damage from Super Prince here. And mind you, he's got that 80% win rate on this Loyi pick, has been massive to the success in a lot of the compositions brought to the table. Plus, he loves that Warcry emblem, so that's why sometimes that burst damage from the Loyi really kind of surprises a lot of people against it.
All right, back into the action. I think I would like to concur with this lineup being slightly better for Falcons AP Brand, given that they have the power pick of the Suyo. But there's this nagging thought in my head. You let the Loyi through, man.
Yeah.
You let the Loyi through. Especially with the... Wait. Camera! Whoa!
Everyone's going to flicker, okay. No follow-up on this. Not sure if anything else is going to happen there. As you were saying.
Counted as a TKO. There is a Grok.
Yeah.
Imagine a wild charge from out of nowhere, and then diversion from... Oh, here we go!
Whoa.
One more!
They're going to go for the play. Okay, I was going to say Super Prince doesn't escape that one, even with the flicker. So there we go. Finally, FCAF will get on the board early on. Kill in the hands there, too, for Few.
Call it a TKO on Kelra, and then a legit kill on the Super Prince. A flicker for a flicker. Few actually spent his major resource there. But also consider, Few watched that same game. That same game that Haji used an Aurora to check a bush from behind. I'm pretty sure that's going to be a factor now.
Yeah, actually, it could be.
Clean out all possible bushes.
Could be. You got to trust that sense there. Right now, they're trying to keep him away from this turtle. Brusco, not going to get close enough, so Kyle Teasy will get the turtle. There's the initiation, though. Still keeping Brusco at bay. Doesn't have the level 4 yet, so he's not going to be doing any amazing wild charges just yet.
Fnatic Onyx have to be satisfied with the orange trade and the eventual cleanup of all of Kyle Teasy's camps down bottom. Looking at the item build right now, about 500 gold. We're looking at a 3-minute game so far.
Even things, when I think about the Clint. We actually had this conversation on a desk yesterday too with Ingon. I don't know, man. He fits certain compositions. Like, he's still very niche if you compare it to all the picks that do come up through the gold lane. But one thing's for sure, like, he can provide quite a bit of damage earlier on compared to the Nathan here.
Yep, and it's a very specific kind of damage. And here we go, Brusco jumping on in. Fnatic on it. More conservative now. Look at King Kong taking the flank.
Very patient on this one. Ogwen's tanky enough as well. Still has the Revitalize, so King Kong, this is how he likes the jungle, man. But hold on, bottom side, that was the wild charge we were talking about. Super Prince will go up, clean that one. Finally getting a kill for himself.
I didn't see it. It was off camera, but Kelra saw it. I guess that's one way you can use the Clint early on.
Yeah.
That was a utility marksman if I've ever seen one.
Sometimes, you know, also those bolas come in handy.
So far, so good. 1-1. Fnatic Onyx have survived the early game onslaught of Falcons, AP Bren. I reckon we're at about the 3:40, 4-minute phase right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're imagining the time as well as we can with this though.
It's called Game Sense.
Yeah, Game Sense. Gonna unlocking it, but two, it looks like.
And the turtle's about to spawn.
I was gonna say, and the turtle, so we're playing with numbers here. I'm not the math guy though, but I'll do the best I can. Diversion, I can tell you where that's going. Getting in position right into that bush. Few takes a couple shots. He's still got the passive. There's the flicker forward. Coming out from Flap. Still trying to keep him at bay. Wild charge gonna be used again. And King Kong will get the turtle. Still the fight's gonna break out. They're gonna force him on the disengage. FNOP will get the objective.
That is 1-for-1 now on the turtles. And just, whoa, wait, what? There's some action that was happening off camera.
Gold lane again, back and forth continuously between Super Marco and Kelra. Looks like Kelra not going to take that chance. He already burned the flicker.
So that's another TKO onto the gold standard. 30 gold. That's all Fnatic Onyx have on FCAP. And best believe, if FCAP don't find a way to turn it up to 11,
yeah,
slowly but surely this is going to grow bigger.
Yeah, it's tough because right now for FCAP, like I said, they're playing around, you know, the different timings that they have with this kind of lineup. You can see this too, you know, Feather of Heaven is locked in here for Super Marco. It's been a hell of a lane though between the two gold laners, and Super Marco does come out forward against it, you know, by about 500 gold or so against Kelra. But like I said, that Nathan is going to be looking to go into the late game and provide that, you know, that, well, we used to call it the Betty bomb, but it's the Nathan bomb at this point, you know?
It's a bulletproof bomb.
The bulletproof bomb.
And luckily, Super Marco has Ogwen, one of the best heroes for babysitting the Hylos, and that's why he's so willing to go ahead and entropy up, because they've covered their base. So I guess that's one thing FCAP are holding on to. Save for the whole, you know, 50-50 on the turtles.
Yeah.
Gold lane, they got a lock.
Yeah, they do. It's, oh, again, inversion, 72. They're going to be going. It's only Ogwen, though. So not able to push through. Glorious Pathway going to be dropped down. Kyle TZ has that information, but right now it just stops what FNOP had planned there. So good play into that counter diversion.
6.5 minutes in, I have a theory.
Tell me the theory.
Falcons AP Bren, they have a solid lineup to respond to the diversion. Yeah. They have a solid way to hold down lanes and to get objectives. But they don't have as good as a decisive play whenever Fnatic Onyx says we don't want to fight. It's so much easier for Fnatic to say, let's go and let's not. Whoa, wait, Ogwen?
It is a lot easier for them to just kind of decide if they want to fight or not. And with that, that's why they also take advantage of using diversions. There's the jump in with the Infernal Pursuit. Glorious Pathway to help them out. Also on the backside, they're going to force the fight once again. Jumping on in Brusco, taking a couple of shots. Flap still up, and the wild charge going to go through, and he's looking for the kill to clean it up. Flap will finally get it. And the fight still for this turtle. Kelra joining the shot. Firing off on Ogwen. Gets out the Revitalize. So right now, it looks like that's all it's going to be. Brusco, the only one to go down.
Valiant effort by Falcons AP Bren. They do get the kill, but they're all topped up.
The flicker forward again. King Kong will get the turtle. Nice. Marco joins the fight though. Able to get Kirk, and that's all. That's the exchange. A kill for the turtle, but their eyes are set on the tier 1 mid lane turret. being worked on. King Kong sees how low Oakwood is. He jumps in. The fracture won't be enough, and now Few, though, will be in trouble. As Super Fritz picks it up, Super Marco doesn't have anywhere to go, but he gets away with entropy in time.
You didn't see it coming. Marco got away just by the skin of his teeth. And Ogwin tried his damnedest. And now Fnatic Onyx are clapping back. I was going to say amazing conversion by Falcons AP Bren, but right now, clapping back cost him so much.
Yeah, it does. And, you know, amidst all this, Leo, we're still relatively even. Even looking at the economy here, the items that are falling into place, nothing is too drastic. You know, aside, that gold lane, you got a good difference there. At least the 2 items, he's still working on the Holy Crystal at this point. So Super Marco, once that's locked in, that's where we see that biggest burst potential that can come out from the Nathan. And even this time around, too, they'll go and focus on the tier 1s, trying to open up the map for them to set themselves up for this Lord taking about 40.
Dare I say, Naisu, up to now, all 5 games that Fnatic Onyx have been part of in the playoffs, this might be their most challenging yet.
I would agree. Definitely is. Diversion, where are they going to send them? They know they're going to go forward. Still the fight in the mid lane, not fully engaged, but Glorious Pathway going to be dropped down. There's the Primal Wrath in response. Brusco, does he want to go? He drops down the wall, still in the mid lane. They're trying to keep King Kong at bay. A whole lot of poking between both teams. Brusco holding on, still has the flicker. King Kong on the backside, forcing Kyle TZ back. And they want this tier 1 turret, but he's going to take the orange instead.
He'll take the orange. Fnatic's gonna make a move for this tier 1 in mid. Ogwin, his whole career flashing before his eyes. Look at how close he was to death. He is going to get away with it. And Fnatic Onyx posting up for the Lord. One thing that Fnatic Onyx does here so well, that's why Falcons AP Brent can't get a sure hold of the game just yet.
Yeah.
Is the use of their weird damage profile. Can I say that?
It is weird.
It's so much burst. But just the same, it feels like they're just right clicks.
Yeah, it is. I mean, both the way if you're looking at it, you'd be surprised too. Like King Kong's 0-0-0, but he's quite a bit ahead in terms of gold against Kyle TZ.
It's the most painful 0-0-0.
Yeah, he's just been able to farm up, work on and some of the team fights really is because, again, you're playing around this whole diversion, whether you follow it up or not, but also the poking potential that they have. And you can see that timing right now. Super Marco did get that Holy Crystal. That's available. We're trying to feel out this area here for the Lord. Gonna take a couple shots at Kirk. The turret being worked on. King Kong gets that one.
Wow. Just by merely playing the map, Fnatic Onyx have gained 1,000 gold lead. There hasn't been a kill in the past couple of minutes.
He's gonna get another.
And King Kong! He's taking names. And the names of these are mid lane turret, bottom lane turret, tier 2, another diversion. Oh, I think FCAP sees this. FCAP sees this.
Well, Brusco wanted to take that wild charge shot, but not going to happen because he was slowed down. So they'll work on it still, playing around the macro that they have, and that's what they did. And then we're back to the stalemate.
It's that base theory that's allowing Fnatic Onyx to do this. The fact that they just move faster and are able to make faster decisions and react to what FCAP do that allow for them to say, all right, we want to do this. Oh, maybe not. Let's move elsewhere.
Yeah.
And FCAP have to constantly think about that. On a 5v5, just full frontal basis, FCAP can win these fights, no doubt.
Yep.
But FCAP are not giving them that choice.
Their head's got to be on a swivel constantly for FCAP. And that's the case anytime you are up against a Luyi. The fact that this is Super Fritz, again, one of the few players that does still pick it up, makes it work 80% of the time so far. It's definitely an obstacle alone, even though we said, yeah, FNOP, despite all the games they've played up to this point, this being their 5th, this the most difficult they've had. Hell, even for FCAP, the Titans, the current world champions, this is also a test of how far they can go in this series.
Now 12 minutes in, no one's taking the Lord. Glorious Pathway dropped in.
Glorious Pathway going to be dropped down. Brusco, again, this is what we're talking about with damage profiles. The Lord will go for a reset, not fully, but still fighting for this territory here. No team committing just yet.
The last time we saw such a beautiful Lord dance was between FCAP and Black just last night. And now, Falcons AP Bren back at it again. Old habits die hard, and Fnatic Onyx won't want to let go. They've now somehow won control of the river brush and the pixel brush. But this just means that these diversions could be more lethal. But I can just say the same for Few. Few has been cleaning out bushes so well.
He has. They've been handling it. Good little pressure there on the bottom side, cross the map towards that tier 2 turret of FNOP. So, and this is what we're talking about, you know, when they play around the fact that they're trying to get some of the defensive items locked in here, Super Marco does finally get that wind of nature. This is kind of what they need. They need to be able to go toe-to-toe, but also have those defensive options dealing with Fnatic Onyx. And also King Kong this time still sitting at 0-0-0 at 13.5 minutes in. He'll grab his buffs, and then they'll give the call eventually here once they're ready to fight this out.
Who would have think the last standing Slayer?
Oh, there it is!
Whoa, here we go!
The wild charge armor going to be used. Few gets out as well, but Ogwin won't be able to escape. The damage is there, and Brusco, both roamers going down. So the 4 versus 4 Lord for the taking here. Battle spells and ultimates used up. Few and Super Marco trying to get in position.
Mirror moves from these two world-class athletes. A diversion being set up here. I wonder, they take it! It's Kyle in the bush!
Kyle's in trouble! He won't be able to escape as Kelra gets the kill. Again, a diversion. Capping it out. And now FNOP. They still have to wait. They still have to approach this Lord carefully.
It's that same principle. They find Few!
They find Few. Few's gonna keep Kirk frozen in place, but Flap! He's not gonna be able to get away just yet, but he does escape with a sliver of health.
What is happening?
Still alive.
Oh my god, what is happening?
Lord's gonna be worked on. Glorious pathway to try to zone them out. Ogwin takes a couple shots and the Lord resets briefly for a second. Marco might try to do something, but King Kong will finally get it.
Diversion!
Will find Ogwin to cut him off, and they break out of the fight in the jungle. Flap clashing down with the Infernal Pursuit, but it's not enough as it's a double for King Kong. And FNOP will win that one decisively with the Lord.
The Falcons get nothing in return. About 5,000 gold ahead at 15 minutes. The patience and the execution, the conviction of the Sonics. Go ahead and get them an enhanced Lord. Joseph, it's cracking inside Falcon's base.
They already got the bottom base turret down. They're still waiting for Flap here to defend. They'll work on the Lord here. Now, as you saw it, FNOP feeling really good. Kelra locked in. You saw the achievement that he got.
The Filipino Savage is back. I mean, it won't reflect in kills, but what he's done to FCAP, he's denying any and all engagements. Here comes Brusco!
Brusco jumped in again with a wild charge, and Flap wants to fight it out. Super Friend's already gone. Kelra moving and grooving as he picks up a kill, still working on it. And now Kirk trying to keep him at bay. Kelra's still alive, takes a couple shots. He's got to back off though, because FCAP wins that fight. 3 go down for FNOP, and now the momentum shifts for Falcons AP Bren.
King Kong!
King Kong jumping in, trying to bomb and weave on out of there. The glorious pathway though goes through the wall. He'll survive, but they got to keep this together on the defense.
A 3-for-1, and Falcons AP Bren making the most of the exchange. He shuts him down. The Beast Incarnate at 4-0-2. He goes down as well. Kyle Teasy drops him.
It was all part of the plan. What a game 2 we have here between these teams.
The Slayer gets slain. The gold lead made kaput. Just 1,000 gold ahead at under 17 minutes, 8-8. Throughout all that, Falcons suffered major losses. Joseph, they don't have a top lane inhibitor. They don't have a bottom lane inhibitor. And I don't think this Lord Dance is going to treat them any better.
I don't know, man. If we just got a preview of that last Lord, which took quite a long time to get to. I'm not sure if it took as long as yesterday's, but it was still a hell of a mind game that Fnatic Onyx Philippines also approached that. And FCAP themselves, you know, if you're looking at the items here, they're falling into place, but they still have some catch-up to do in certain roles.
It's not what you got, it's how you use it. I know we say that a lot, and the phrase almost means nothing, but here specifically, I'm looking at Super Marco, he's got a better kit than Kelra. I'm looking at Marco, and I think he can blast King Kong to hell. All right?
To hell.
Back. And back.
And back.
You saw how King Kong just popped like a pimple when Kyle got his hands on him,
He
right?
did.
So, if some way, somehow, FCAP can find a winning position, this could be a Lord that's theirs.
Oh, once again, we find ourselves. What are we calling this now? Is this still the Lord dance? This push and pull between both teams? Kind of fading through it. They're going to go for it as King Kong will get the Lord. The toss up through. Flap's going to be taken out. And they go in, pressing this situation as they find Kirk and Super Prince. King Kong still getting on out of there, but they got the Lord. And that's going to be enough for Fnatic Onyx Philippines for now.
2 for 1. FCAP economically trading up, but just the same, Fnatic Onyx take the Lord. I'll tell you now, Flap Teasy, this is just another day in the office. He's the #1 most damage taken on all of the league. So he's used to just throwing himself at his opponents.
He's that body bag.
And just saying, take me, all right? Not my teammates, take me. And that's what allowed for FCAP to take down Prince and Kirk. Now the question, how does FCAP make the most of this? Because for the first time in, I'd say, 50 minutes, they have as close a lead as it gets.
This is about as close as it gets. You don't have that huge gap that you're working in. And just like you mentioned, even considering the items, as we take another look at it, you can see how much fight capability that this Falcon AP brand lineup brings to the table. Whether it's Flap throwing himself forward or Ogwin cutting them off, there's enough threat damage-wise that Fnatic Onyx Philippines can't just haphazardly go into a fight. And I feel like that's why we see this so often, where they're trying to look for different angles, they're trying to utilize the diversion, or if that's a wild charge conceal play from Brusco.
With that said, I'm taking into consideration the items, the positions on the map, what the map looks like, and there's one thing that's glaring at me.
What is it?
Why can't they catch Kelra? How can they not take down the gold standard?
I don't know, man. If you guys, you've seen the clips and the moves from him this season.
Is it too much work for Kyle to find him?
I think it's almost too much of a risk.
Is it impossible? He only has one. He barely has a bodyguard. And I'm looking at Kirk. Like, Kirk is his bodyguard.
Yeah.
But that aside, if you can take down Kelra, maybe the face of this game changes. Maybe suddenly the Lord is that much easier for FCAP to take.
I think when you look at it too, aside the fact that Kelra's just got, amazing micro-technical skill, it's just the team's lineup peels for him really well. Like, you have so many options, whether that's, the wall from Grok, you can also use the wild charge. You have Kirk doing the same thing with the Aegis. Sometimes he's just earth-shattering or onwarding forward. There's so many options for them to protect Kelra. And so maybe that's part of the puzzle. Like, if you're Falcons AP Brent, how do we get to him? How do we actually shut him down? And I feel like they've been trying, even if that's utilizing the glorious pathway from Ogwin, but they just have a hard time getting through that front line first because there's so many options to peel for Kelra.
And I think that's the magic word, Joseph. Breaking through the front line. If some way, somehow, Ogwin can lay down the red carpet, make like the Wizard of Oz, get that golden brick road up to where Kelra is, or maybe King Kong if he's lucky, then FCAP can take this Lord. Suddenly, we're not in Kansas anymore, but it's gonna take magic. Whoa, Lord, just talking about magic.
Go.
Lord just snaps back from behind the Guardian's barrier. Now Ogwin playing footsies with Brusco. And I think, slowly but surely, past the 20-minute mark, King Kong is allowing himself to be seen more now. He's not taking the flanks as often.
Yeah.
He's more willing to poke. And that might be a tempo break. See, look, that might be a tempo break that FCAP might not be ready for.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and heal that up well. Good push down bot 2. And like you mentioned this, earlier, that the disadvantage here for Falcons AP Brent is that they don't have the base turrets, but they're going to want to force the fight. Super Prince already going to flicker out Ogwin. Taking a couple shots. King Kong, though, goes in, gets the passive, and Flap tries to flicker on out. Kyle's not going to find the connection, and they fire back at Brusco. Still has the immortality, and they disengage. The base is going to be worked on, but King Kong and Kyle going 1 versus 1. A diversion into the base. Can they get there in time? Kyle goes down. They still have the minions to clear through. Not everybody could get back in time, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines will fight it forward as they take out Flap, and they make the play to take it to a 2-0.
The Sonics are at match point. 1 game away from going to the grand finals. 1 game away from M6.
My goodness, they got a sweep yesterday, and they're on the way here. 2-0 right now against the current world champions, Falcons AP Bren.
Or maybe King Kong if he's lucky. Then FCAP can take this Lord. Suddenly, we're not in Kansas anymore. But it's gonna take magic. Oh, Lord just talking about magic.
Oh.
Lord just snaps back. But it's gonna take magic. Oh, Lord just this Lord. Suddenly, we're not in Kansas anymore. But it's gonna take magic. Oh, Lord just talking about magic.
Oh.
Lord just snaps back from behind the Guardian's barrier. Now Ogun playing footsies with Brusco. And I think, slowly but surely, past the 20-minute mark, King Kong is allowing himself to be seen more now. He's not taking the flanks as often.
Yeah.
He's more willing to poke. And that might be a tempo break. See, look, that might be a tempo break that FCAP might not be ready for.
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and heal that up well. Good push down bot 2. And like you mentioned this, earlier, that the disadvantage here for Falcons AP Bren is that they don't have the base turrets, but they're going to want to force the fight. Super Friend's already going to flicker out Ogwin. Taking a couple shots. King Kong, though, goes in, gets the passive, and Flap tries to flicker on out. Kyle's not going to find the connection, and they fire back at Brusco. Still has the immortality, and they disengage. The base is going to be worked on, but King Kong and Kyle going 1 versus 1. A diversion into the base. Can they get there in time? Kyle goes down. They still have the minions to clear through. Not everybody could get back in time, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines will fight it forward as they take out Flap, and they make the play to take it to a 2-0.
The Sonics are at match point. 1.
Not everybody can get back in time, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines will fight it forward.
But for Falcons AV Bren, I agree. I feel like they outdid themselves with this one. I am actually not sure if maybe it's just the pure raw power of the Suyo, but they did fight back a lot.
Yep. That's just the raw damage of the Suyo as well. I gotta agree with that statement. That really, because of what Suyo can do in the battlefield, the pokes that he can dish out, as long as he keeps it relatively close, once it gets to the point where the items don't matter, the poke will always be there. You also have to credit Super Marco for finding farm when he can and staying bulletproof for as long as he can. But it's plays like these, divergence when the members of Falcons AP Bren are running away. Guardians barriers to set yourself up for better position in team fight. Hunting again. Stuff like that comes because each member of Fnatic Onyx Philippines understands the individual assignment for each, for no matter the situation. Brusco even had some really great wild charges. Some of the objectives won by Fnatic Onyx Philippines came from the back of Brusco being able to zone out Kaltizi really well, stunning him at the right time, putting a wall up in front of him so he just wouldn't reach the range of his retribution. It's insane.
Actually, that's what I wanna go to as well. Like, bro, King Kong took all the turtles in this game, and even in Lords where it was FCAP control, he also just took it behind their noses, just because I think of Brusco as well as obviously the rest of the team just piling in at the exact perfect time.
Yeah, there were those 2 Lords. It looks like Kaltizi could have gotten it, but he just got crowd controlled at the best possible time from the perspective of Fnatic Onyx Philippines, and the worst possible time for them. Again, this is one of the difficult things to do when you're playing an EXP laner that doesn't have backline access or dive up against a low Yi. That's why they ended up picking up the Nathan, man. They just needed to have someone to get a little bit closer and deal damage, which puts the Nathan at such a risky position because he has to commit the entropy to go in, burst, and hope that he gets someone down before they can take him down. And then when you add in there the Phobius, you see Flaptee's initiation. It forces him to commit the flicker every time he does it. Already an expensive spell for a Phobius to use early on in the team fight, forcing to use it as an initiation. Crazy.
I mean, forcing it in that scenario means that you don't have an out, right?
Yeah.
Like your enemy knows you use the ult. They're clocking in their minds. They're timing it down until a moment where you're vulnerable.
Yeah, you'll have the in, but you won't have the out.
No out, right? And aside from the raw damage of Suyo, I also thought, you know what, FCAP are also relying so much on raw damage of Super Marco just because the Nathan does what the Nathan does. aside from that, if you're talking like control of the map, it does feel like FNOP has it. Even though they're like not really present on the map, like in that last one, that last Lord fight, I knew in my bones that they were just gonna teleport to the base, maybe on the bottom side of the map.
Yeah.
They didn't really care about that, and you know what? They did. They didn't teleport to the bottom, by the way. They teleported straight to the crystal, to the base, and that was all they needed to do.
Yeah, Fnatic Onyx Philippines plays with the gusto and the bravery of newly minted professional players. Like MDL players who just made it into the MPL or who didn't even make it through MDL and hey, I'm an MPL pro now. They play with that confidence. But they play with the calculations of a veteran. It's the spirit of, I don't care, let's go for it. But in the back of their heads, their signal to say, go for it, comes from the fact that they've already calculated, like, okay, I'm already here, he's there, he's used this ability. And it's free flow. It looks like Fnatic Onyx Philippines has solved MLBB.
It does feel like it, right? Like they're definitely looking at the map in a different way compared to the other teams, 100%. Even if they don't always win the team fights.
Yeah.
Right? They don't need to win all the team fights. They just need to make it so that you at least get all the objectives.
Yeah.
You have control of the lane flow, the minion flow.
Yes.
And then just attack when you have like that small advantage. And most of the time, even if it's like a coin flip, FNOP does come out on top.
Yeah, and it's so tricky. How do you even start thinking of or suggesting draft adjustments?
Like how to counter that.
How to counter it when you're up against a team that it seems like no matter what heroes they end up with other than the Masha, they'll make it work. They've made everything work. They haven't dropped the game this playoffs. It's just they've solved MLBB. No other way to put it.
Does seem so. And if they want to prove that, we'd need game free. And of course, our analysts will throw it over there. So, what you got?
Match point. Welcome to the analyst segment at Magandang Buhay. My name is Antianara and I'm here to break down what happened in game number 2 between Fnatic Onyx Philippines and Falcons AP Bread. Throughout the game, there was a seesaw for both of the teams. But I think the most glaring and apparent thing that I want to point out is how much Fnatic Onyx Philippines has grown all throughout the season. We've seen them play a very aggressive game all throughout. But I think what's very special about this game is that they never force anything. When we saw the first Lord spawn, they were able to take it down, beyond the 12th minute mark. The Lord even evolved. This just goes to show how mature they got, how respectful they got towards their opponents because they know that there might be a possibility for a comeback. And what's more important is that the Super Family seems to know the roles that they need to play. Props to Brusco because he's able to cast his wild charge all throughout the game against the opponent's jungler, and Edith of Kirk was able to do his job, which led them and Super Marco to just be able to do what they do best, free hit and be able to secure the objectives. I think this is one of the most fast-paced games because of the Louis from the Super Family, Fnatic Onyx Philippines, as they bursted down the Lord. There was an instantaneous diversion play towards the back line, and this is what that Louis can offer. Catching your opponent off guard. And I think this is really what makes the Super Family very special. Ine-expect na dapat to ng kupunan ng Falcons AP Bren, but because of the masterful execution coming from the Super Family, it seems as if everyone is being caught off guard by what the Super Family has been doing. And again, what's most important in this case is that alam dapat ng bawat isa ang mga roles na kailangan nilang gampanan. For Super Marco, that's being for the goaltender, that's being able to do what you do best. But let's head on over more to know more with our host.
Isa na lang ang kailangan ng Fnatic Onyx Philippines para makakuha ng ticket sa M6 and the slot in the Grand Finals. And here we are, kasama natin ang Lazy Esports mula sa MDL. Guys, introduce yourselves.
IGN Sindel, tas Gold Lane.
IGN Shizu Gold Lane. IGN Choke Skirt Mid Lane. IGN Der XP Lane. Kay Kadot, Romer.
Again, James Pangs, role jungler.
Coach Macbeth from Lazy Sports.
Coach! Na-miss ka namin! Sobra! O, kamusta naman? Congratulations sa inyong MTL Championship. Kamusta naman ang post-championship nyo?
Hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin kami mapaniwala na yung run namin ng ganun na magcha-champion pala kami. Pero tiwala rin talaga sa isa't isa.
Ako naniniwala ako, with you as their coach, talagang pagdating ng Grand Finals, boom! Iba na. Now, coach, actually, isigaw nyo sabay-sabay. Sinong team ang sinusuportahan nyo?
Onik!
Onik! Ikaw, coach. Coach, sino, nakakausap mo ba si Kelra?
Oo. Madalas. Kasi playoffs na yun. Chinachat ko siya minsan.
O anong sabi mo si Kelra tungkol dito? Kasi isa na lang, makakapunta na sila sa Grand Finals, tsaka makakastep sa world stage.
Oo. Kay Kelra, siguro mas galingan niya talaga. Kasi pwedeng ito na yung season niya as a player. As a golden of Onic
Ayun, nandun si Kelra. Sabi nga nila talaga nag-mature si Kelra. Kayo ba, are you taking lessons from your kuya? Kaya kita,
Opo.
ano yung mga nakuha?
Ano?
Hindi ka naman, yung mga young players dito, bigay natin to kay James Fanks. Ano yung mga lesson na kinukuha mo kay kuya?
Yung nakuha ko siguro yung tapang sa paglalaro kay King. Kasi
Kay King?
Yun yung ginagamit ko para makalamang ako sa jungler ng kalaban.
At alam nyo, itong si James Fanks, siya ang ating Season MVP, Finals MVP. Congratulations!
Thank you po.
So feeling mo ba someday ready ka na sa MPL?
Opo, ready na po. Abangan nyo po kami. Malay nyo. Next season, makapag-MPL kami.
Baka next season. Okay, anong message mo para sa Onyx, Fanatic Onyx?
Guys, good luck sa inyo and laruin nyo lang yung laro nyo. Tapos alam ko namang matagal nyo nang iniintay na makuha yung na yan. Kunin nyo na yan guys. Let's go for 3-0.
Oh, 3-0. Now we'll take a look at that. Babalik na tayo sa ating panel. Tulungan nyo ako. Panel? Paso.
You know what I'm really loving our interviews? Just because of the fact that Macbeth and Kelra, they go way back. Yeah. Macbeth, one of our most decorated pro players as well here in the MPL, in case you guys missed out. And again,
Decorated pro, even more decorated as coach.
apparently so, MDL champion, brother. Congratulations again. And we also have Darren Kekadot. You know the roots of Darren Kekadot, right? They've been cooking it up with Onyx for a while. And right now, since all that is out of the way, don't forget to support the Philippines representatives as well in the IESF World Championship for 2024. Their MLBB tournament run will be happening from November 12th to 15th. And the women's MLBB tournament will also be taking place from November 16th to 19th. So right after this, naturally, we're going to be supporting more MLBB action for our own team. So make sure to mark your calendars and witness Dakas ng Pinas. Like we always say.
Yeah, our representatives for the Philippines are the members of RRQ Kaito, the MDL team that Lazy Esports defeated in the grand finals of MDL Philippines Season 4. 4-3 was another tremendous grand final show to us by MDL Philippines. But I really hope that the RRQ Kaito loss that they felt in the grand finals fuels them up and represent the Philippines in the IESF World Championship.
Yeah, knowing Coach Pao, he's already had all of this in consideration already. We miss you, Coach Pao. And of course, for MPL Arena, it's also time for that special time of the day, where we look for the guy who is gonna copy the smart gameplay code. So we're gonna look for. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be an Onyx player here. So make sure to copy it properly. If you're watching here in Greenside, you're gonna have to look for that here. And don't forget to have that thing, the green screen with your thing. And then you can win a redeemable in-game code. So let's throw it over to the MPL Arena in just a bit to check that out. And again, make sure that you copy not just the hand poses, but also like the intensity of the face, the eyes. The eyes never lie.
Yeah, I think it's already on the smart gameplay pose. We're just not part of the party. This is gonna be us. Should we do our smart gameplay poses?
What's your power gameplay pose? If you
Huh?
win, if you like to win, what's your own? What's a Reptar gameplay pose?
Just like that.
Isn't that from a very well-known coach?
Yeah, just like that. Just like that. I don't know what you're talking about. I can.
I know.
I
I heard someone named Coach Jeb does that. Anyway, if you guys know who that guy is, please comment down below.
Yeah, that's
Mine
Coach.
is like that.
That's Coach Jeb. That's different from Coach
Jeb.
Jeb.
Yeah, Coach Jeb with a J.
Yeah.
And I think
you know.
do that. That's victory. That's victory for me because they'll never know if you're crying or you're smiling.
Can't believe. Wow, that's deep, man. Are you okay?
Yes, I am.
He said that with quite hurted eyes. I'm worried for you, but you know, let's talk about it later, man.
No, I'm a little hurt because from the way things are happening,
It might be a. Yeah.
it looks like a 3-0.
It looks like it.
Coach Ducky, I know you're not listening to me because you're busy right there.
Yeah.
You're not listening to me right now, but brother, you've been here. You've been here before internationally, bro. Bring us something new. But look at that. Gold standard, by the way. 6 overall. Oh, he's top 6 kills. Just not kill participation, kills. With 1,099. Road to 1,100 here. And he passed twice already. Wow. Just before their match as well.
Yeah.
Just before Aurora's match. Interesting to see that.
Wise got to rack up a lot of kills in the 4, 5, 6. I have to count. 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 7 seasons that he played.
7 seasons, alright.
Well,
And that's not
Aurora's-
counting the ones that he took a rest.
Yeah.
There are seasons also that he took a rest.
Yes, that's what I was counting. The seasons.
You're
that he
trying to
played.
remove the seasons that he
Yeah.
rested. Right.
So
there you
in
go.
the 7 seasons that he was active, like he racked up 1,096, 5, and then Kellra just surpassed that. Wow.
And you're talking about percentages. Look at that, 90% win rate for blue side.
Ooh.
And FNOP gets it as well.
Yep.
And you know that's Suyo or Fanny's coming shortly.
100%. Again, I tried while you guys couldn't see us on the screen. I tried racking the permutations in my head in terms of the drafting order. I couldn't come up with a draft or little draft tweaks that would say that Falcons AP Bren definitely won this red side draft. But maybe it starts here by stealing away the Edith of Kirk. They steal the Gatot Katya from Brusco. But Brusco and Kirk, especially the young EXP laner, has one of the deepest hero pools in MPL Philippines Season 14. Including yesterday, he has played 13 unique heroes.
Just yesterday? Sorry, including yesterday.
Yeah, including yesterday.
I thought just yesterday. Right now, yeah. Suyo, that's impossible, right?
Yeah.
Because Suyo, obviously right now, is the prime pick. No matter what team you are, it does feel like that's a priority. But a very early Beatrix here for Kellra.
Okay. That's confidence. That's signaling from Fnatic Onyx Philippines that, yeah, we don't care. We will get our gold laner early. And not the usual power pick gold laner of the Harith, the Moskov. No, it's the Beatrix. The currently undefeated Beatrix of Kellra.
So this is like FNOP saying, we can probably take a 3-0 and we'll take it with style.
Yeah.
And with... It's like, this is a lineup that says, I don't care about my opponent.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's no other way around it. If you pick these 3, you show your ace cards early on, that just means you're challenging your opponent. The gloves are off.
You know, it's this meta wherein Yu Zhong would have slotted in so well if some other heroes just didn't rise up in the meta. Because even though, like, something like a Yu Zhong really would have messed up, like the Beatrix would have had easy backline access to the Vixana. There's so many other power picks that are just so much better. Edith being one of them that you can't just go ahead and take. Arlott even far better. So now Falcons AP Bren are forced to default onto, if I'm not mistaken, the best, should be the best hero of you this season on that Faramis, as he has a...
Maybe 2 losses, 3 losses.
Yeah, 2 losses. He's 4 out of 6.
All right, there you go. Interesting, right? This should be if I was like Falcons AP Ren, this feels like the best pick for each role right now.
Yeah.
Especially specifically for Ogun and Flap TZ, and Few just is icing on the cake. The question is, at this point, it does feel like it's kind of telegraphed to FNOP what they're trying to do here. Easy to ban out that alpha. You can just focus down on Kyle TZ after that as well. Super Marco's pool is actually a bit better, and right now, if you wanna try to choke him out in any certain role, I think it's jungle.
Yeah. Falcons AP Brand still has a Y pool available. Hayabusa has been strangely snubbed in this series. We've seen trades of Nolan and Suyo. Ling has been snubbed. Haya's been snubbed. Julian also. All power picks. If they want, they can actually save their jungler pick for last. But this has to be a physical damage dealing gold laner because they already have a lot of magic damage coming from their first 3 picks.
That's sort of really necessary. From the way things are happening, you either go Moskov or Clint here, and FCAP apparently will be going for Moskov.
Save the jungle pick for last. This is just going to end up being something like a Ling or a Julian. The Haya, because the Cho's still open here for Fnatic Onyx Philippines. They can lock in the Cho and then a really tanky EXP laner. They can default to the safest pick of in Kirk's playbook, which is the Terizla. Or they can even bring out one of their numerous flex picks for Kirk. They can go Grok XP, they can even still go Grok Roam. They can pick both, but of course you go for the undefeated Tigreal of Brusco. And the CC for Kirk. Pack of Vengeance with that. Edith, Moskov, they're gonna cry.
It just feels like FCAP asked for it with this draft, to be honest, right? You leave open picks like the Tigreal, you're asking for a big engagement to come in. Here's the Julian for Kyle TZ. Again, not the most stellar win rate for this hero for the playoffs. Actually, I don't think he won any, so...
Yeah.
This is FCAP, I feel like, trying to go against the odds, right? Trying to give the opponent whatever they want, but they're also going to do whatever they want.
It's funny to say that they have to be disciplined, but at the same time, they can't be scared.
Look at that.
Some of the times we saw them team fight, they looked like they were scared or overthinking things. They can't be anymore if they want to force a game number 4.
It's time to just go with your instincts, go with what you know, and see if FCAP can rise to the challenge. Right now, it is FNOP on match point. Let's throw it over to our casters. Give this up for us.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Diamnya.
I think here we are. Now I can get you now, man.
We were just in our heads because of how high stakes this matchup was, but now Few gets away with a Shadow Stampede, and we are in game proper.
All right, Few escaping there with his life, of course. Did have to use that Purify, but this is what we're gonna have to see how they play this early game. They're gonna go in for Wall Few. Very quickly taken out, but they do get King Kong back. The trade there, the 1-for-1.
You take that trade 4 times out of 5. A mid laner for a jungler?
Worth.
Yes. Now, talking about this Julian up against Suyo, it's a match made in heaven. Mechanically speaking, these two are the top of their game.
Yeah.
Kyle TZ and King Kong. I think FCAP may have figured something out here.
Yeah, might have. Trying to, he goes in with a flicker. He didn't want to get hit by Ogwin. Now King Kong might be on the hunt too. Goes in with a Queller, but there it is. Kirk will pick up the kill. Good synergy there. Good calls as well.
You can only be in so many places all at once and think of so many different positions your opponents could be.
Yeah.
And with that, I think Falcons AP Bred, the fact that they're still standing here for the first turtle means they mean business.
They're going for Kirk. Kirk already popping that
Nice
vengeance too. A couple shots away. Flap going for it, but the Eternal Guard gonna cut them off in the fight. Kirk finally goes down. They deal with it all. Flap has to flicker out. Brusco finally going down in the exchange. The taunt unbreakable coming from Ogwin. Kelra won't have enough firepower to help turn the tide. Now the fight for the turtle. King Kong gonna get forced out of this situation, and FCAP, they fought for that one, and they'll get the turtle.
FCAP definitely put some elbow grease in it, messy as it may be, but that is how blue collar goes. Whew. You put it in, and you work with your hands, and you make with it what you. It's
Might be a little messy.
Living. It's an honest living,
Yeah.
and sometimes that's what you gotta do. Fnatic Onic have been attacking this game, this series, from such a cerebral position, and maybe if FCAP can shock them into a game that's going at a pace that they're not ready for, maybe FCAP can get a win. Maybe we can be forced to go into game 4, but right now, barely 500 gold up, 3 minutes in. I'm scared, Naisu.
Who are you scared for here?
I'm scared for Marco. Because throughout all this mess that we're seeing in the early game, 6 kills already in 3 minutes and a half, barely. Kelra is up by 500.
Yeah, he's up, and you know, I think you're seeing how proactive Kelra's also being, and that's been him for the most part throughout these series. Hold on again, Kyle Teasy gonna get out, hand swords on out, but you're seeing just how much that Soul Sever does hurt from King Kong. You gotta respect it, and yeah, going back to it, you know, Kelra's gonna have to move around the map. He's going to continue to do that. And I think it's just a little bit maybe easier for him to go and farm up some of the lane if he has to, and which allows him to then roam quicker than, for example, Super Marco. Because Super Marco, all he's got to do is really hope that he lands the Spear of Destruction. Now, throughout the series, you know, that's the other question. Is he able to land the ones that count, basically?
Throughout the series, throughout the playoffs,
yeah,
it's not just Marco who's struggling with the Moskov. Just because of the sheer game IQ, game sense, and how teams are so good at playing the map, Moskovs aren't hitting the SODs the way they used to in the regular season.
Yeah, they really adapt to it, especially when it comes to these objective takes. They look for it and they get ready to dodge it before they go in. There's the flicker, though. They want to go for the fight. FCAP gets the vengeance out already from Kirk. Turtle, less than half health. They're still looking for it. It's going to go through a reset. Super Marco also getting the information he needs. Now the focus. Once again, Kelra rotating down, joining the fight. Eternal Guard going to be dropped down on view. He could be in trouble. Still gets away. There's an implosion, and King Kong will get the turtle. Spear Destruction going to land. Kelra flickers defensively, but Ogwin goes down as King Kong picks up a kill and will force FCAP back.
Fnatic Onic, definitely the aggressor in that situation. Despite the early pop on Kirk's vengeance, it was all according to plan. Probably they can rest easy knowing that they did get a turret up top, but just the same, Fnatic Onic very quick to the comeback, pushing down bottom, and it's the same lane I was afraid for, Joseph, this whole time. Because of what happened, what transpired in the first 2 turtles, Fnatic Onic said, you know what, Kelra? Switch lanes quick. Go down bottom. Be first to rotate, because we know that top lane's going to go down quickly. Marco's not moving, and that's going to put him at still close to where Marco is. I think the fact that Marco took that turret by himself allowed for him to close that gap.
Yeah, gave him that little bump that he needed. They'll still have to deal with it, because you saw Kelra also just now picking up the BOD, so good little power spike here for the Beatrix once that item's locked in. And that's part of it, right? You put Super Marco in these side lanes, let him do his thing, farm up the best he can, and he's been doing that, kind of equalizing things. He's got to go ahead and just get these turrets down so that it opens things up for FCAP. Whoa! Flap! I guess he just got overloaded there under that tier 1.
Flap tried to take it by himself. Flap thought he could defend and save the major resources that FCAP's going to need when Fnatic Onic start to play the map a little more aggressive. But look, Fnatic Onic relentless. King Kong and
They're still going.
Oh no, I don't think FCAP can defend this.
Yeah, they're
losing it.
Couple shots away on that tier 2. Super Marco does get there in time. That cannon minion, though, will finish that one. So they lose at tier 2 this early on the top side, and now Turtle coming up third one, last one of this game.
In the first 5 minutes, FCAP have been getting better at blocking Fnatic Onyx early salvos. FCAP have been getting better at finding windows for aggression, but wait. It looks like the final turtle will go over to FCAP, and I guess at the cost of that hard push up top.
Yeah, look at this. King Kong took the orange. So that's the trade, and this is what we see often. Easy though, he knows. Might go on the hunt here. Spear Destruction going to be used. Retribution also, but King Kong will be fine. Again, the Suyo is hard to catch. So many options to get out.
Maybe, what, 30, 45 degrees off? If that stun from Marco hit King Kong into a wall, may have been over for this Suyo, but now King Kong playing footsies. Man, he's defending against two.
He's defending, but Kyle Teasy's not going to let that orange go away for nothing. We'll finally get that revenge by taking the purple buff here from King Kong. Both teams getting set up now in this mid lane and trying to get control because they both hold on to tier 2 or tier 1 turrets mid lane. And if they make a play, if they find a pick off either way, gives them a little bit of a room to work with before the Lord comes up.
Eye for an eye, trading buffs for buffs. And slowly but surely, Fnatic Onyx know that FCAP aren't the same team that they faced in game 1, not in game 2. FCAP are just getting started. They're getting warmed up, and now Kyle Teasy, ever the aggressor on the Kirk. Kelra knows he can't protect Kirk, and this pushes Kirk all the way back.
Kirk will be fine. Couple shots. I mean, this is what we expect with both teams kind of just limit testing each other, seeing what they can get, if they can get anything, whether that's used or not. Not too much that they can go for until this Lord is up, and that's where we see it. Both these teams, you know, they've mastered that part of the game where we see some of the best kind of back and forths between the Lord shuffle or dance or whatever we want to call it now. And both masters at the macro decisions that they made. I mean, that's really what showcased the last game.
I'll tell you now, Joseph, if some way, somehow, Falcons AP Brand find Kelra or compromise Super Friends before this Lord goes into a full-on point of no return, then maybe FCAP can take the first big objective. Brusco and Kirk positioning up, one up front, the other in the back. It's never as simple to find Kelra, though. There's always a big, beefy member of FNOP next to him. Look at this, it's Brusco this time. Now it's Kirk, and he's always just going around here.
It's just like we said in the previous game, Leo, you know, trying to get through that front line or that just the protection that Kelra has. And all the while worrying about what King Kong's doing. Eternal Guard gonna be dropped down. Flap goes in with a flicker. They want to force the fight. Enhanced Chase though goes in, able to find Super Friends, and Kirk falls as well. They're gonna clap down on Brusco. He tries to get away. King Kong tries, dives into the backside. Will find Kyle Teasy and fires off. But Super Marco gets a double. They find 3 kills in the exchange. It's Kelra and Brusco left alive.
2 for 3. A well-fought, hard-earned...
Oh, he let it up!
Marco fights Kelra! Oh, but the Filipino savage, the gold standard, flickers underneath his tier 1 in mid. And all this while, FCAP works on the Lord. Can they, though? Kyle is out of commission. He's just about to respawn. One more look. An instant replay brought to us by Infinix at whole engage.
It looks like, I'm going to look on the live cam here. It looks like they might be able to get it. Again, Eternal Guard gonna be dropped down. Promo Wrath gonna be used, and Kelra fires off. We'll be able to find Flap. Looking for the Lord and Fuel. We'll be able to secure it for FCAP.
Brusco!
The implosion from Brusco. No follow-up through, and now Kirk taking the spears. But here's King Kong again, punishing Few. FCAP will get the Lord though.
Falcons AP Bread looking at the big picture. They will trade anybody and everybody that's necessary to win on the map, and this gets them about a 2,000 gold lead 11 minutes in. Despite everything that's happened, Joseph, even if Fnatic Onyx, say what you will about this series, this game specifically, being messier than any outing they've had in the playoffs, they're still very frugal about who they give up. It's mainly Brusco and Kirk dying. Kelra hasn't fallen, but still, this Lord is as clear a win for FCAP.
Big shift that FCAP needed.
1v1 again.
1v1. He's going to chase King Kong. King Kong regenning up. Has the protection of Brusco here to help him out, so he's going to be fine. They still got to deal with the Lord, though. Also, Super Marco walking with it as he takes down the tier 2 top.
All right, because of that whole scuffle down bottom, it should be FCAP making the most of this Lord. Now another fight, King Kong!
Oh, he's not getting away from that one. Even with his Spear Destruction going to be used, FCAP will take some turrets off it all. They know King Kong's down. Lord was already cleared up though, so their eyes are set on the base turrets here.
The hunter becomes the hunted. The slayer has been slain. King Kong out of commission for 20 seconds more as the map turns red. FCAP ballooning out of control, approaching the 4,000 gold lead at 12 and a half minutes. I think this is the way you attack FNOP. You deny them the formation. You constantly apply pressure and aggression where they're not expecting it. And suddenly, they have to play defense. They have to start protecting each other. They have to go into places where they're not comfortable going onto the offense. Because you gotta admit, Joseph, is it just me or has King Kong just been forcing the same play for the past 5 minutes? He's like, all right, you guys just front up, I'm gonna kill whoever's in the back. Front up, I'm gonna kill whoever's in the back. And about a minute ago, it just stopped working.
Stopped working, and I think even what we're seeing is Falcons AP Bren adjusting, getting a little more, you know, creative, even with trying to shut that down, because they've seen it now multiple times, and that playstyle from King Kong is really what makes him such a great jungler. But if you punish it and he's taken out of the picture, that's the biggest advantage for FCAP.
It's that unorthodox rotation that Falcons AP Bren have either practiced a million times or just in this series alone gotten used to fighting Fnatic Onyx Philippines. It's a perfect mix of them knowing how to play the game anyways and understanding on the fly what makes Fnatic Onyx tick. Because here, in this same Lord, the same spot where it was in that first Lord prior, best believe King Kong's gonna try to walk up again, but now he's taking a different angle.
Well, they're going for that. Again, it looked like the conceal was used. Super Prince dropping down Ogwin. The shots also. Machine guns coming out from Kelra, keeping them at bay, but still nothing really that they could get. The Nether Realm already used up. Lord here, quarter of the health, it's gonna reset.
Soft reset, Lord approaching half health. King Kong holding on, charging that Queller. Flap Teasy coming in from the angle, still has that flicker.
Still working it. Ogwin won't get the Unbreakable, and King Kong will get the Lord. Now still looking for the fight, and Brusco goes in with an implosion, brings them back. They already lost Kirk. Goes in, Spear Destruction will not find the mark, and now Brusco in trouble. Covering fire from Kelra won't be enough as well. He's gonna shoot him down. Super Fritz getting cut off from the team, and Ogwin goes down. Now it's Flap there left, and Super Marco will find Super Fritz. FCAP comes in swinging for the fight.
3 for 1. The Sonics do get the Lord though. FCAP's gonna do their best to make sure it doesn't get any further. Fnatic on it, reeling from that exchange. I'd say that's worth it, Joseph. 15 minutes in, I'd say that's worth it because look at the lanes, they're all still pushing in for Falcons AP Bren.
Pushing these lanes in. Kirk, Kelra, Brusco, Super Prince almost back up too. They're going to try to keep it together. Flap's in trouble, but look at the damage. Kirk will get pulled. He's burning, but he gets hit by Super Marco with the Spear of Destruction we asked earlier, and he's been on point in this game.
As if it was delivered by Apollo himself. On golden wings, Marco throws a spear that parts the Red Sea. As the red side grows ever bigger, FNOP's map has shrunk. Joseph, King Kong could not make that same play. He tried a different angle and failed to get any returns, and now FCAP are knocking down Fnatic Onyx inhibitors. Down bottom, it's gone.
It's gone on the bottom. Couple shots left there on the top, but that might look like that's all that Falcons AP Bren gets for now. But what a fight for them the past couple minutes here. Even though they lost the Lord, able to just overpower, like in terms of fighting and the way they approach the fights, utilizing the way they can jump into the back line even and split members off from Fnatic Onyx Philippines. That's what Falcons AP Bren is playing around right now.
The Lord was just but a speed bump. A liability that they could have held out for. And now this next one, a minute in, it definitely has Falcons AP Bren's name written all over it. It's getting harder and harder for Fnatic Onyx to find a winning position. Look, the way that they're posting up now, looks like they're gonna deny a dance. I think they want to burst him.
Yeah, I think they do. Both teams going in this similar situation, even though they're 30 seconds away from this Lord to come up here. They can still, either of them can actually find pickoffs, and that's what we saw also earlier. Concealed play was used from Brusco. FCAP right now, though, they're searching. Spear Destruction used. Super Marco goes in, takes a couple shots from Kelro. Kelro will flicker in forward.
AOG!
AOG's not going to be able to find Kelro, but Flap will. Knocks him into the air. They're going to force the fight as Kelro goes down. Even with an implosion, they have the Nether Realm and everything else as they're going to chase down the FNAP here. King Kong on the side just watches as Brusco goes down. The full force of FCAP now makes their way to the Lord.
To be able to Lord dance, you gotta make it to the dance floor. And Fnatic Onyx squad ain't all here. They compromised Kelra's positioning. They forced Brusco to play babysitter, and they just don't play well like that. FCAP scores a Lord.
Massive win for FCAP right now, and these spears have just been thrown from Super Marco. They get the call to start the fight, and they make that pressure work. Eternal Guard gonna be dropped down. The mid turret will fall. The base of FNOP holding on with that one turret. They have to get ready for that Lord push.
FCAP now approaching the 5K gold lead. 18 minutes in. We're in TikTok timers, folks.
We are.
FNOP cannot afford pickoffs. Kyle Teasy commits Grand Theft Orange, and Marco securing his Wind of Nature. I can't believe they they forced that play against Keller without Marco having a Wind of Nature?
Yeah.
That's some marbles right there.
That is marbles right now, and the marbles in the play for FNAP. Flap's gonna jump in, takes a ton of damage. Is gonna have to go with the reset. NetherRealm gonna be used as well, but Super Marco firing off the backside. Already got multiple ultimates out from FNOP. Lord still up, healthy. Kelra on the front, trying to keep them at bay. There's AOG again. Gonna be able to find multiple members, but they're still working on the Lord. FCAP finds the check. Spear Destruction already used, but FNOP will keep things together for now. They got rid of the Lord, they got rid of two from FCAP.
Fnatic Onyx PH still standing, holding on for dear life, defending their base. Sitting at about a fifth of its health, bodies lay across it in a beneficial trade for the Sonics. King Kong for Flap and Kyle. And suddenly, the Sonics come alive. Half of the MPL arena on their feet. FCAP, their gold lead sliced in half.
Leo, we have seen FNOP do this before. Well, they have an amazing defense against the odds, and then they somehow turn the game in their favor. Even with a fully exposed base, one step at a time is what they have to do here. And yes, MPL Arena, the Sonics all stood up after that successful base defense.
Looking at the items, we're in juggle territory. Players will start to sell items and buy them in the midst of battle to be able to get advantages and active skills. So you're seeing here now, Kyle DZ, he's rocking a Winter Crown, so he can start to sell and buy and sell into an Immortality. You can see as well an Immortality on both the frontliners of Falcon's AP Breath, so that's going to come into play. Joseph, who's to say that the play FCAP did about 3 minutes ago isn't going to happen again? Who's to say? Because they've done it, and somehow Marco has made up for all the missed SODs all weekend long.
The man's is bulletproof right now, man.
That he is.
7-0-4.
That he is. What?
And he's been doing stuff like that. If that's not impressive, I don't know what is. And you know, Kelra made that risk. He flipped when that play that we were talking about, he flickered forward. He made the play, made the choice. But FCAP responded better to it. So now they find themselves sending Super Marco up top to deal with this while the Lord's going to be worked on.
Gotta say that's risky. Again, knowing the hit rate, the batting average of an SOD in the playoffs, this has to be a play with conviction. Falcons even have to vocalize and outright say it. We're going for the backdoor. We're going for the segue. And Marco understands that maybe I'm not ready, man. I'm just going to join the fight. I'm better in team fighting anyways. I'm better at kills for sure in this game.
Once again, Flap's done it time and time again where he flickers forward with the Earth Shatter. Kirk jumping in, gets Few really low. gonna force them off a little bit from this Lord. They're gonna press the go signal. Flap's gonna jump in again, and King Kong will get the Lord. They're gonna disengage from the spike. AOG already landed. They're gonna go for it. Brusco goes in with the implosion, but the fire is off. He sacrifices himself, but look at him in lane. Kyle TZ's gonna be cut off. Flicker in from Kelra.
Run, Kyle!
They shoot him off with the base. They gotta clear the minions out. And FCAP runs into the base. But right now, FNUP, they've got it together.
Lord spawned an extra layer of fat to stop the onslaught of FCAP's minion waves. But that was a close call. Joseph, I'm gonna tell you now, I don't think this Lord is worth the effort FNUP put into it. Yes, they denied FCAP from taking it. But wait, what's Kirk doing? What's Kirk doing?
I guess they want to fight this out. Kirk! Immortality, are we going to be popped?
Kyle!
Down! And they can't keep him alive as Super Prince falls as well. Kelra and King Kong, the only left alive as that Lord finally goes down. But FNUP ultimately buys them some more time in the game.
Fnatic Onyx, they're gonna have to defend against 3 waves and 5 members of FCAP while being down their silent anchors. Super Prince, 30 seconds. Kark, 30 seconds. I don't think this is possible. We're short of a miracle for this defense to happen.
Well, they can see if they can pull it off, Hugh. Lesson Appel, Flap again jumping in. They're trying to clear the waves, pushing this in together. King Kong so low, and now the base is going to be worked on, and FCAP will see the victory as they take game 3, 2-1 right now.
Backs against the wall. The final Titan refuses to fall. 3 games in, and Fnatic Onyx lose their first game all playoffs long. We're going to game 4.
Going to game 4, man. The crowd all in their seats, out of their seats here.
I want to get out of my seat.
Same.
Let's go over to the evening's game to buy it. Redmond Rockhart.
Tak dengar. Tak dengar.
Exactly how FNUP has been doing it since game 1 to game 2.
Yeah, really, the decision suddenly for Super Marco to just snap, if I'm not mistaken, the man did go bulletproof, didn't he? I'm gonna have to double check if he did go bulletproof, because it's a very tight race right now up in the bulletproof leaderboards, and the positioning, the right times to use the Spirit of Destruction to be able to find the marks, that call right there at the end. The moment he got that hit onto Kelra, they decided to make that call. Yeah, we're gonna go for this. That was such a brave play. And the follow-up by Falcons AP Brand. This is the Falcons AP Brand that we were looking for all series long. The Falcons AP Brand, not afraid to make risky moves, not afraid to make the play. The longer the series goes on, it looks like Falcons AP Brand is starting to finally understand and read the tendencies of Fnatic Onyx Philippines.
Yeah, it feels like better late than never, at the very least. Right?
Yes.
Better late than never here. And Falcons AP Brand are poised to make it kind of similar to game number 4. I think the biggest thing that the fans and everyone here is looking for, and FCAP themselves is looking for, is that proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
The proof of concept that these guys are still mortal, unlike Suyo, who is immortal, or chosen by immortals. And as long as that concept is there, it feels like you can do anything. Anything feels like it can be possible.
Yeah, oh wow, just the decisions all throughout. See, it now looks like with Falcons AP Bren having a little bit more footing, being able to comfortably make more riskier decisions, you can see that it comes to the team fighting. They do have that capability to stand toe-to-toe with Fnatic Onyx Philippines. For 2 games in a row, let's be honest, they were out team fight. It was a much better team fight coming in from Fnatic Onyx Philippines for the first 2 games, and even in this last game, because of their man marking yet again, they were giving Falcons AP Brand a lot of difficulty. But one of the glowing things that Falcons AP Brand, the light at the end of the tunnel that they found was 2 marks. Rusco and Kirk. Whenever they go in, whenever they decide to front, let's do what Fnatic Onyx Philippines has been doing to us, and let's not be afraid to give it to them. But another adjustment that Falcons AP Bren has been doing better is one thing. Finally, they're watching out for the late entries of King Kong and Kelra.
Yeah, because they have been getting away for it for how many games now, right?
Yeah.
It feels like Kelra just always has a battle spell ready. I told you that earlier. And he actually didn't die until like maybe 12 minutes, 15 minutes in this game.
Yeah.
So that goes to show what FNOP's really trying to do here. But at the same time, the thing that you're talking about in between game number 1, game 2, that FNOP was using as a strength, which is that bravery, that gusto, that bravado of I can go in and you're gonna be scared of me, is fighting against them now.
Yeah.
Kirk, he tried to do that yo-yo maneuver against I think a few members there, specifically a few.
Yes.
And I think he got punished really hard for it. And that also happened before a crucial Lord take.
Yeah, because every time Kirk would go to the back end, that's always been something that Fnatic Onyx Philippines has been doing. Wherein, if they already know that, okay, look at this guy at the front, I'm going to commit abilities onto him so that he's going to get taken down right away. But then, what happens is that Falcons AP Brand has read this tendency and just said, wait a minute, we can actually punish that. As long as we survive, we'll go ahead and turn things around.
Finally, again, breath of life here for FCAP. Let's see if they can keep it going. And of course, for solo analysts to maybe break it down a little bit more.
Mental fortitude exhibited by the current world champions as they extended to a game number 4. Magandang buhay, my name is Anjanara, and welcome to the analyst segment wherein we will be breaking down what happened in game number 3 as Falcons AP Bren seems to still be alive in this entire series. But then what made the entire difference in that lineup was the fact that Falcons AP Bren was able to adjust their draft so that they are able to match the Fnatic Onyx Philippines aggression that we have been seeing since game number 1. And so far in this entire series, we have been seeing that Edith wins games. That execution coming from Flap TZ ensured that Super Marco will be able to secure their enough gold and ensure that he will have enough space so that he can farm up really, really well. If you will look at the goal difference, it's mostly in the side of Falcons AP Bren, and understandably so, because they were able to secure the neutral objectives earlier on into the match, and they were able to dictate the tempo of the entire lineup. If you will look at the item progression here, ang daming nabuo ni Super Marco because he was bulletproof in this game. The difference between this game and game number 2 was the fact that there was no one to reach Super Marco's Moscow. I think it was in this series that King Kong kept finding him when King Kong chose to go with that Nolan. But in this case, with this Suyo, it was difficult for them to reach Super Marco because he was well protected and he has added sustainability brought on by the fact that Few has his Nether Realm. We have been talking about in the draft how this lineup will be difficult to pull off if Super Marco won't be able to achieve the necessary goals. That was the win condition coming from the side of Falcons AP Brand, and they were able to do just that. And again, to everyone who's watching out there, this is what you need to do if you have a Moscow. Sure that you have space because at the end of the day, that will lead you to victory. That was happened in game number 3. Kaya naman, let's throw it over to our host, Mara Aquino.
All right, everybody, let's go Falcon! One more time, let's go Falcon! At kasama natin dito, Sanford. It's nice to have you here. O anong pakiramdam ngayon na nandito ka nakaupo, hindi ka nandun naglalaro?
Mas kinakabahan po ako kasi nakikita ko po yung both perspective and ganito pala feeling manood. Sobrang hype.
Yun nga yung sabi sa akin kanina, kinakabahan daw siya. Okay, sino ba sinusuportahan natin at bakit?
Falcon sa brand po kasi sobrang tagal ko na po sila nakasama sa international tournaments and alam ko na kaya talaga nilang i-represent yung bansa.
So sige, ngayon, 2-1 tayo. Kailangan ko ng prediction mo dito.
For me po, reverse sweep po. Falcon sa brand. 3-2.
Reverse sweep! Okay. Alright. Now, sino ba sa tingin mo ang magre-represent ng Pilipinas sa M6 maliban sa Falcons AP brand?
For me, Onyx Philippines din po. Fanatic Onyx.
So feeling mo, bababa sila, tapos mag-meet sila ulit sa Grand Finals.
Yes po.
Sige nga, sino sa tingin mo mananalo sa Grand Finals?
Hindi ko po alam pero feel ko game 7 po.
Game 7. We all want a Game 7. Sige, ano ba ang advice na maibibigay mo sa Fanatic Onyx Philippines? Kasi feeling mo sila yung magre-represent. At ano ba ang gusto mong mensahe na sabihin sa FCAP?
Sa Fanatic Onyx po is huwag kakabahan kasi iba po talaga yung pressure sa world stage pero alam kong kaya nila. And sa brand, feel ko, hindi ko na po kailangan magsabi kasi ilang beses na sila nag-champion eh.
Oh, paano naman itong larong to? Kasi 2-1 tayo. Feeling mo nga magiging reverse sweep. Bilang manlalaro at kilala mo na din ang Falcons AP brand, ano sa tingin mo ang kailangan nilang marinig? What would you tell them para sure ball na reverse sweep to?
Isipin lang po nila kung paano nila kami tinatalo sa game 7.
Yan ang key. It's nice to have you here. You enjoy the game. And now we're gonna go back to the panel. Tulungan mo ako. Panel?
Paso.
Oh, that is so nice. I was legitimately touched by seeing Sanford himself right there. And you know what? These guys have been complaining to Falcons AP brand. Guys, you've been beating us nonstop. Come on, give us a chance here. But he's here supporting them.
Yeah, I mean, if you can beat him, support him and show your love for him. I mean, I like how he did say that. It's because they've spent so many times in international tournaments together. They've represented and carried the flag of the Philippines for an entire year now, all throughout the year in international tournaments. And even though, as you mentioned, even if Sanford and TLPH have just kept losing to Falcons AP brand in the grand finals of those international tournaments, then they still just end up respecting them.
Yeah, I mean, respect begets respect, I guess. And if you're FCAP, you're probably very touched. And maybe, you know what? Sanford's right.
Yeah.
You don't really need to say much else to FCAP, but just remind them who they are, what they did, all the journeys they've been through together. Wow, this is such anime level power.
Man,
friendship
you're
thing.
making me emotional. This whole thing is making me emotional. Y'all know as a Falcons AP brand bias, what you just said just now, if I was watching anime, I'd be like, I'm not gonna cry, I'm a strong man. But strong men do cry.
But look at this.
Speaking
of men who don't cry, it's Few. I don't know if he doesn't, but I'm sure he does.
He does. He's not afraid to express his emotions, and that's healthy.
With FCAP's game number 3 win, Few has now 301 game wins. 301 games. 301 check pings.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, man, for the guy. Big salute to the captain.
That's 301 check pings at the minimum. Those were the 301 game wins that he got. And the first player in MPLPH history, not just in the franchise era, but in history, to be able to get past the 300 mark of games won.
Wow. Kind of makes you just look back, right? It makes you look back to everything that these guys have been through. And again, just going back to what happened in game before the game started, match started, people are like trying to reminisce, like, bro, how long has you been playing? And how difficult is it to actually stay on top of your game, on top of everyone's game here in the MPL Philippines for that amount of time? It's just really mind-boggling, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing. And we are back at it again. 3 minutes into the draft, before the draft starts, we see Bulletproof Marco shine again.
Yeah.
He didn't die in that Moscow.
Yeah, looks like he was bulletproof. And, you know, I gotta look at my little whole bulletproof tracker here. He's actually...
About 3 minutes ago, is it gonna happen? Made up for all the missed SODs all weekend long.
The man's is bulletproof right now, man.
Yeah, he is.
0-4.
Yeah, he is.
And he's been doing stuff like that. When that play that we were talking about, he flickered forward, he made the play, made the choice. But FCAP responded better to it. So now they find themselves sending Super Marco up top to deal with this while the Lord's going to be worked on.
Gotta say that's risky. Again, knowing the hit rate, the batting average of an SOD in the playoffs, this has to be a play with conviction. Falcons even have to vocalize and outright say it. We're going for the backdoor. We're going for the segue. And Marco understands that. Maybe I'm not ready, man. I'm just gonna join the fight. I'm better in team fighting anyways. I'm better at kills for sure in this game.
Kunai once again, Flap's done it time and time again where he flickers forward with the Earth Shatter. Kirk jumping in, gets Few really low. He's gonna force them off a little bit from this Lord. They're gonna press the go signal. Flap's gonna jump in again, and King Kong will get the Lord. They're gonna disengage from the spike. AOG already landed. They're gonna go for it. Brusco goes in with the implosion, but the fire is off. He sacrifices himself, but look at the mid lane. Kyle TZ's gonna be cut off. Flicker in from Kelra.
Run, Kyle!
They shoot him off with the base. They gotta clear the minions out. And FCAP runs into the base. But right now, FNUP, they've got it together.
Lord spawned an extra layer of fat to stop the onslaught of FCAP's minion waves. But that was a close call. Joseph, I'm gonna tell you now, I don't think this Lord is worth the effort FNUP put into it. Yes, they denied FCAP from taking it. But wait, what's Kirk doing?
I guess they want to fight this out. Kirk! Immortality already going to be popping.
Kyle!
Down! And they can't keep him alive as Super Prince falls as well. Kelra and King Kong, the only left alive as that Lord finally goes down. But FNUP ultimately buys them some more time in the game.
Fnatic Onyx, they're gonna have to defend against 3 waves and 5 members. FNUP, while being down their silent anchors. Super Prince, 30 seconds. Kark, 30 seconds. I don't think this is possible. We're short of a miracle for this defense to happen.
Oh, they can see if they can pull it off, Hugh. Lesson half belt flap again, jumping in to try to clear the waves, pushing this in together. King Kong so low, and now the base is going to be worked on, and FCAP will see the victory as they take game 3, 2-1.
55-45. That is still relatively healthy compared to the 60-40 that we had at some point of the season. However, because they went ahead and stole the power pick of Fnatic Onyx Philippines. The hero that was made for Kirk, the Edith, they took it away. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be something within the formulas of Falcons AP brand for the drafts leading up to this game, or the drafts moving forward, that just make sure that Kirk doesn't get his Edith. But again, they'll also still need to mark out for that low E of Super Prince. Those are the 2 heroes that right now I feel like they shouldn't give, because they've already shown that they can counter the Tigreal. The other question is, are they ready to finally answer the Cho of Brusco?
We'll have to find out as we head into draft for game number 4. It begs us the question, right? Have Falcons AP Bren figured out the winning mojo? Have they found out how FNUP has been getting away with what seems to be like really, really greedy lineups? Let's see if that's gonna happen here. One thing's for sure, no Loyi for the rest of the series, in my opinion.
And Falcons AP brand have answered my question. Right now, they're just not ready to deal with it. Are they gonna rush the Edith? Are they really?
Oh, yeah, you called it. You're right into it, Redmar.
They're like, but Fnatic Onyx Philippines are ready to respond. They get the Suyo and they steal the Moskov away from Super Marco. They can go Edith, Harith, Hylos if they want to, or Edith, Tigreal, and Harith. Not gonna be too greedy in my books.
Hear me out, Fanny and Tigreal.
Oh, Fanny's still available. There's no more lockdown. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
You can go for the heavy carry hard assassin as they take out the Cho. Yeah, they can go for the roamer and their assassin here. If they're not going to be going for the gold laner power pick in the Harith or the Harith is what I'm really looking at.
Yeah, but you know what? Harith is great. Harith, I think, is great here for this pick. Ling and Fanny are still on my table.
Okay.
None of the above.
Yeah, it's still the Julian that they're going to be going for in the Faramis. And right away, Fnatic Onyx Philippines picks the hero that's been cursed in the eyes of many, undefeated in the hands of Super Friends, and still, at the end of the day, the counter to the Faramis, it's the Eve.
You know what, brother? If you ask me, it feels like the Julian's actually the guy who's cursed. I think that was the first game he won. The last one.
Yeah.
That's the first game he won all playoffs long. So, in all honesty, I think Eve has been winning more in playoffs since Super Friends and Few started picking it up as well. So, you know what? We'll have to wait and see. Gadot Gacha finally is out, so it won't be that hard for maybe the Julian to make a play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're going to get slowed down so much by the Eve. Make sure that you're on your toes, Kyle TZ, and ready for this.
High control, roam mid duo for Fnatic Onyx Philippines. The take is still open for Brusco and his high loss as well. The usual things they go for. Strong reflect, actually, if they pick up the Lolita. Because the Julian and his enhanced scythe, the Edith and the Primal Wrath, basic attacks, even the Ghost Bursters of the Faramis should be reflect. Ghost Bursters of the Faramis, I'll have to double check that. But there's a lot that you can reflect as a Lolita if Brusco want to pick up a unique hero. Good ban here on the Rafaela because we saw this as a response to the Eve. People have said that, yo, but Rafaela is doomed to the Eve. No, you have that extra movement speed to help you get out of the real world manipulation faster. It doesn't make sense, but believe me when I say it's actually one of the soft going into hard counters into the Eve.
Soft going into hard.
I
like that term. Let's coin that term right now.
Yeah. But
medium soft, medium hard. Maybe.
Sure, let's go for let's
medium well done.
Let's change our phrasing a bit and let's go for steak terms. Medium well done.
Medium well done.
Just realized the way I was saying it been taken differently, so let's go for medium well done.
Look at that Brusco picking up the Tigreal. That's huge.
Yeah.
Is it still undefeated?
For default. No, it lost in the last one.
With Brusco? Oh, last one is... Oh, yeah,
the
right.
last one was his tick. That lost. Ogun, what's
pretty good,
though. This roam pick for Ogun is massive. He's out.
I will choose my own path.
Okay, interesting.
Whoa!
It's our showtime.
Okay. They go for the Claude into the Eve. They have the dive.
All right. That's a bit of a fragile lineup here, especially with the Phoveus. That's not looking pretty here.
Yeah. Really not looking pretty at all. Historically, Phoveus does have a tremendous win record up against that Arlot. Just have to double check that right quick. To add more to the drama of this game, Arlot has never won against Phoveus this season.
That's a hero head-to-head.
In the hero head-to-head.
Oh my goodness, no way. Good luck. I mean, all you gotta say here is good luck here for FCAP, right? I feel like they got a bit of a short end of the stick here in the draft, but I'm ready to be proven wrong here for FCAP, honestly.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. The high-stakes drama.
Let's go. Let's go, Leo and Naisu. Give us game number 4.
All the drama, all the speculation, all the anticipation come up to
Welcome
this
to
point.
Mobile Legends.
Finally, as the tides of battle, the momentum shifted to Falcons AP Brent.
I think so, man. The crowd is feeling it as well. I am hoping for a game 5 because we know what's at stake for both the teams here. It's that grand final spot and the first ticket to Malaysia for M6, of course. And, when you look at the last game here, Leo, I would say, FCAP adjusted exactly how they needed to. Now, I'm wondering, with this lineup here, I don't know, man, maybe this is the Julian was a little cursed, but also the Arlot not ever winning against the Phoveus? Whoa!
Wait, such aggression!
Flicker, are we going to use Kyle TZ as soon as I say the curse? Julian, the first to go down, and now the focus on the purple buff. They're going to keep going, pressing the situation further. Couple more flickers going to be used, and Ogwen takes a couple shots, whittled down to a sliver of health. Kirk, though, gets dragged through the wall under the turret. Good response and play from Few.
Fnatic Onyx, this is the part where you say, you don't like me when I'm angry. And what happened in game 3, they'd rather treat us water under the bridge because they're now up to a 500 gold lead, a minute and a half in. I was going to say, hey, when they say the head-to-head and the Arla hasn't won, that's when they're lane to lane. But here, Falcons even have switched it up.
Yeah.
They put the Arlo in Rome, and they put the Edith in XP. But just the same, that doesn't mean you can't do what you want to do. The Fnatic on him, because look, they're in your face again!
Good dodge. Look how delayed Kyle Teasy is right now because of that first blood that happened. You know, he's already quite delayed, and we've seen this before where King Kong just kind of gets out of hand. So FCAP looking to respond. Kurt goes in, jumps in with the Infernal Pursuit, still dealing with it though. They're back themselves, able to find Flap Teasy. So they punish them even when it looks so good. FCAP does get a couple flickers out though. No Super Prince burns that one. Turtle's up though.
Uh-oh. Ogre knows that King Kong is back in the scene as the turtle spawns 2 minutes in. Let's talk about this dead lane, because this is where the action isn't happening.
The gold lane?
Yeah, XP laners are rotating into jungles, into mid already. That's what warranted the action, but the gold lane is relatively quiet.
Yeah, you just let them do their thing. Meanwhile, this first turtle for the taking, they're going to jump in, forcing the fight. Once again, Kurt, Infernal Pursuit, right on the target, and King Kong will get the turtle. An implosion, able to find multiple members, and FCAP falling apart here as it's a double again. King Kong this time around. FNOP gets a whole lot.
And they're giving Kyle Teasy's jungle hell. He's not even done. Look, he's going to sever this purple, take it away as early as 3 minutes. I think, you know what? I think the last buff also went to King Kong.
Yeah, look at Kyle. He's almost level 5, but he is so far behind. King Kong jumping in under the turret. Gonna get knocked into the air. Enhanced chains, they're still poking down. Might go for the Queller shot, but few blocks it.
He was in immortal mode. That's what kept him alive. The damage reduction.
It's not a dead lane anymore. Kel rejoins.
He's part of the action now. He doesn't want to miss out on the party. 3K, Joseph, 3K at 3.5 minutes.
What is going on?
Full on a beast incarnate mode for King Kong.
This is almost reminiscent of their fastest game, you know, just yesterday. The way they're playing, the way they're moving. 9:34.
And mind you, folks, that game wasn't perfect. Not by any means.
Yeah.
But it was very aggressive. They're answering brutality with unchained violence. Fnatic on it when there's a fight. Best believe they're there. This is the Irish in them coming out.
Yeah.
They're in a fight.
They want to fight because, I don't know, man. They're seeing that they're still at that match point, and they're not happy with what FCAP did to them in the previous game, and they surely want to make a statement for this one.
It's the same spot where the turtle is spawning, folks. Upper quarter, and King Kong ain't missing out on this. Currently 100% turtle take rate for the Sonics. And I think that Falcons Everybody read the map is like, I don't think it's worth it to fight that anymore. Maybe we just bear down on Kelra. Oh no, another attempt?
Another attempt, King Kong. He takes it again, and also Kyle Teasy.
Oh man, King Kong. He's straight up doing the Conor McGregor walk.
He is. That's literally, that's what it reminds me of.
He's a bad boy.
I was wondering what Suyo walks like when he's in immortal form. It's the Conor McGregor. Kyle hasn't had, what? Has he maybe had one purple buff?
He's tasted maybe one. And
at this point,
that's being conservative. Like, we're hoping that maybe one was missed out by King Kong. But maybe even none. It's possible.
It is possible. With as far behind he is, you know, 4 levels nearly. This is the best game you can have on Asuyo. Final slash though on Brusco. Goes in implosion, flicker 2, brings him back into the RWM. They're gonna fight it out. King Kong joining the fight. His eyes set on Kyle Teasy, and he'll find him again and again, and looking for few as well. He doesn't care about the turret. He's looking for more. Ogun will be able to grab Super Friends, but Kelra gets the kill, and now it's Flap Teasy. 3 members of FNOP. Kirk leads the charge. It's easy pickings for FNOP.
They're like sharks in open seas, and they smell blood in the water. And King Kong, the Slayer, the Beast Incarnate, keeps on pushing in, taking away everything from Kyle. But Kyle puts his foot down. Not this one. Not my orange buff.
If I'm not going to get any purples, I'm at least going to get the orange. And right now, this one's going to be up, so maybe he gets this one. But talk about just a huge gap to get back in, and they were only 6 minutes into the game.
Kyle Teasy is at half the net worth of King Kong.
Yeah,
if King Kong wanted to, he could buy Kyle.
I love me some Kyle Teasy, but I gotta say, he's basically useless right now until you get to the later portion of the game. The best thing you can do, even though you're gapped like this, is hope that you get an enhanced chain either to peel or start a fight, but that's about as useful as he is at this portion.
He's become a utility jungler. Like that's a sad state of affairs for Falcons AP Bren. Down 5,000 gold at about 7 minutes. The last turtle spawning in the lower quarter. And I'm still looking for a way for MCAP to extend this. Top lane got pushed, bottom lane got pushed. Mid lane, they're only tier 1 left standing. And I think they all made an aggression pact.
Yeah.
They all just put their hands in and said, we're fighting.
We are going.
We're doing this.
Might as well. That's 3 for 3 on the Turtles. The aggression played out. And knowing FNOP and knowing the way they're going to play this, they don't let up. So they have a massive lead already. All objectives pretty much taken, working on more turrets, setting themselves up for a perfect first Lord take.
Let's talk about counting your blessings, all right? Silver lining for Falcons AP Bren. Number 1, Marco hasn't died. So as long as he remains bulletproof, there's a chance that maybe some way, somehow, they can come back in the late game.
Yeah.
Number 2, Few isn't useless. Even if you are a Faramis at 1 and 3, at early game, like, oh, here we go!
How are you gonna play into this? An implosion. Ogwin tries to survive, goes in, final slash, gets taken down. Still gonna be working for it as Flaps the next target. FNOP looking for more, and they'll find a few. It doesn't matter if he has another realm or not. FNOP takes everything.
The Titan Slayer rips and tears through Falcons AP Bren. 8-0-3. 3 free kills down bottom underneath a tier 2, and the mid lane bites the dust.
Again, they might even guess the Holy Shields under the 9-minute mark.
They pop 1 down bottom.
They get the 1 down, couple shots with the Queller here. FNOP though, they'll know they can still push at least the shields down.
I'm considering now really what the use of the Purify is early on. Because sure, if they save themselves from Brusco, they save themselves from Super Prince, you still have to consider Keller can just throw an SOD in there.
Yeah. King
Kong can run in through a rogue surge. And it's just a matter of double jeopardy. Falcons AP Bren, if we don't protect ourselves and defend what resource we have left, we can't get to the late game. It's a paradox.
Well, they're trying it again, and this is the combination too of just having it. Final slash gonna be used on Kirk. They throw him up into the air. Kirk, as tanky as he is, he'll be able to find Kyle Teasy before he finally goes down himself. All shields on the base turrets down. There's the implosion. NetherRealm to keep him alive the best they can, but Ogwin in trouble as Kelra picks up another, and it looks like FNOP with a 10,000 gold lead might be looking to end the game even without the Lord. Flap and Few left alive, but Fnatic Onyx is just too damn good as they'll prevail against the Titans, winning the series.
Thunder and lightning strike through the MLBB world as the Philippines lock in its first M6 representatives. Fnatic Onyx are going to the grand finals.
What a game, a last one for them. This is how you do it. This is how you qualify for M6 in the grand finals, and they deserve that. What a heck of a season they've had.
Game 3 was for the books. It was a historic push and pull, an amazing tug of war between world-class athletes. Game 4 was a spanking.
It was. They were out to prove a point, man, and this is, like I said, they're so clean. This team is so good.
You watch Game 3 and you think, is this how you beat Fnatic Onyx? You watch Game 3 and is this what it takes? Right as you're trying to figure out that calculation, that theory, that solution, they play Game 4 and you can't even turn the page fast enough.
You can't. And again, our current world champions are going to take a bow here. They still have a chance to meet FNOP again in the grand final. But man, what a story we have here.
The Titan Slayers, true to their name. No one is mighty enough to stop nature. No one can capture lightning in the bottle, not like Coach Why not like Coach Hayes has.